if I do.
Covino and Rich.
Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
Turn on the radio.
Get ready.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball!
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
Hey, look who's here. Nicky Doodle Davis.
Yeah.
Travel boy.
Buddies.
Anthony Bourdain, he's back. Rich Davis.
Anthony Bourdain.
Welcome to the show. He gets around, bro. It's Tupac, everybody. Round and round he go. Rich Davis.
What's up, buddy? I'm happy to be back with you bozos here in
Welcome
Los
to our
Angeles.
show, Sports, Entertainment, and Life. Hope your morning's going better than Cam Newton's morning.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened.
Oh,
Guys,
biggest story going.
How did I break the news of the three of
I
us?
mean, I found out. Spot knew before I did.
I mean,
But anyway.
I'm anxious to know what that even means. Frankly, I want to rock out first, though. Can we do this?
Let's do this. Present. Rock it out. Rock it out. Here's what I like to do. Oh, my God. Can I do the show with my mask on?
Hey-o.
I am the irresponsible one.
I can make fun of him because he doesn't listen.
Who?
My brother shows up at my dad's wearing a mask.
I mean, it's the
But,
responsible
like,
thing.
in the house.
Yeah, but he has a little one.
And he's
Yeah.
not vaccinated.
And you were with like 3,000 people.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
I wanted to ask you that. There's
Yeah.
so much to get to today.
Oh, yeah. A lot to get to.
In the world of sports, entertainment, and life, and
Ooh.
random observations I've made. I have a whole list, a whole slew of things we didn't get to yesterday, but we had a fun show if you missed it. Back from our little break. Catch it on our Patreon. Be sure to watch it. All of our Behind the Velvet Ropes. We appreciate you guys. But yeah, Rich is back.
I have
I don't
so
blame
many.
your brother. I mean, dude,
I mean, come on.
you were with like 8,000 people. You were on a tour, like a stadium tour. So like, oh, this is my face shield. I'm just trying to be safe, bro.
I get criticized.
Is this guy serious?
I think you have to put it above the hat. No.
No, this is good. It's
You
cool.
look like
as long as people could hear me, I think I'm good.
you look like a street fighter. You look like someone from.
Get over here.
You look like a new Mortal Kombat character.
I gotta ask you because we talked about
Covino.
all the people you saw on your travels,
Duke.
but you didn't mention your brother and you didn't mention your mom, and we got so much feedback after the show. Like he talked about his dad, he talked about his,
Hang on.
his friends from college, but he didn't mention his mom. So I want to know, did you have like a
you put-
reunion with bro?
Can you put the mic under the face shield if you're gonna do that?
So I'm just trying again. I'm not calling Rich out. Rich is living his life.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm a
saying-
vaccinated guy living my life.
Yeah, I mean, but you're living it like next level. Like you saw more people in the past week than I've seen in like the last 5 years. And Spot,
That's cool.
pull up. Did you see the pictures? Like you were hanging out with like gaggles of people, dude. So it's like
Everyone's vaccinated, dude. We're living
everybody,
in a vaxxed
you're
world.
checking their cards. I doubt that very much.
What do you mean
And you're
checking
hanging out
their
with
cards?
Rugrats, man. These little kids are the super spreaders.
Checking their
I
cards.
stay away from my own daughter. It's the
Checking
kids.
their
You don't think I'm
cards.
concerned about like my kid at school, man? Because they're just dealing with each other all day, but it's getting worse.
Oh.
And the point I'm trying to make at Rich's expense is now kids have to wear their masks at recess, and it's really being pushed again at school because new variants are emerging in other countries, and it is spreading worse. And I don't know, man. I don't know where it's going, and it fucking sucks. And, you know, Rich is living his life.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah, man.
I don't blame him for that, but like, fuck. Like, if you get anything, you won't have symptoms, and then, you know, you wouldn't even know you had it.
Because I'm
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't mean that
vaccinated.
you don't have it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, listen, we could get to whatever you want to get to today. I want to talk about our studio. I want to talk about people who take a joke and people who can't take a joke. And that, you know, when you do that feel out process, like, is this person down with the ball busting or are they a very sensitive person?
let's get into it. Spot, I have another face shield if you want one.
Let's see.
Good.
You good? Are you sure?
Seeing friends and family. I want to talk about vacation friends.
I want to know about your bro and your mom. Did you catch up?
I want to talk about
I thought your bro didn't make the trip.
traveling.
I thought you were going to talk mad smack about your brother. Look at that. Like, good for you.
Should count how many people there are?
There was one picture. He was with like 30.
My dad was like, I'm so impressed at how
You
many
did
people you've seen.
You did a great job
Yeah.
planning for sure. Like, I was like,
I know
how
I've-
did Rich arrange for everyone in his life to meet up with him on every other day? So
It's
props to you.
called planning.
That's just exhausting.
Yeah,
It's
but-
exhausting though. You're 100% right. It's
Yeah,
exhausting.
Like, did you relax or enjoy yourself
I
at all
agree
last
with
week?
Scott. You come home to visit your family, and then whoever wants to come visit you while you're there, they're my friends.
Yeah.
That's how I run it, but you do it differently.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
no
not-
right or wrong.
There's no really. This is a silly conversation because we have different strategies and theories and feelings on what's relaxing and what you enjoy.
And we discussed this yesterday, but yeah, I haven't seen Rich until today after his world tour of catching up and hobnobbing.
Oh,
And I say that kindly.
Are you the new character, Slightly Vato?
I mean, how's that new?
Are you the? Let's see. What are people saying here? Is Covino a welder? Are you working on the new studio to save budget?
No, it's a really low budget dollar mask that I saw at the dollar store.
No. Let's see. Family trips are never relaxing. I can't breathe looking at Steve right now. That's Jen. Covino the welder. What does your shirt say, Rich? Oh. Iced coffee and sunshine. That's what my shirt. I had to buy this. Someone bought it for me. I saw it or someone saw it and I forget.
Well,
That's what you
guys,
think of when you think of me, right?
I want to hear about your reunion with your brother because I'm really impressed. Like your dad said, I'm so impressed. So was I. I'm very impressed with the level of planning you were able to do to
I even tried to see your parents.
to get and hang with like 8 million people. And I was really impressed to hear that your brother did make the trip
Is
because
Covino raising bees now? I think that's a possibility.
no, I just look when you're hanging around with, especially, gaggles of little nose pickers. I think those are the biggest risks of all because kids aren't vaccinated yet. As we discussed, that could be an issue moving forward. These kids are going to be getting sick, and that's why I'm seeing, like I said, at the schools, they're taking higher precautions now, and the faculties aren't they're not knowing what to do at all.
I had to double check because Bill Jackson said iced coffee and butt shine. And I'm like, does it say butt shine? Because I did have a Butts Creek shirt once.
Oh, well,
Darth Covino.
yeah, it's my new thing. Anyway, I want to hear about the reunion with your bro, and then we'll get into some gossip and bossip and all this other shit that I've been observing.
And I also have a present for you guys. I have a little something I want to give you guys.
Souvenir?
Just join. What the fuck is going on with Covino? That's Steve in Texas. This better be a joke. This is from your dad. If Covino is serious, then go get vaccinated. That's from your dad.
No, the joke is my dad not getting the joke. If he doesn't get it, then the joke's on him.
This better be a
I
joke.
think I'm really wearing this all day.
Did you really get us souvenirs?
I did.
I think I know what it is, so I'm really excited.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do
This is
too.
my guess. I don't want to ruin it.
Okay.
But
No, I
tell
think I
me,
know what it is.
Before we dive into the topical
Okay.
stuff of today, tell me about your brother, because we heard about all
I'll
your
tell you about my
stories.
brother if you tell me what happened to Cam Newton, because tell me that just real quick and then
Okay,
we'll-
what could have happened to Cam Newton?
he got terribly injured or cut.
He got cut.
For real?
Yeah, he got
Yo!
released by the Patriots.
The Patriots like Cam Newton, the guy who was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking deliver one more shot. This is my fucking future. I'm going to bring it.
So funny because
Mac
if
Jones,
you read
huh?
any articles, right? Oh, Mac Jones hasn't taken any snaps with the first string receivers or any of the first string players. Cam Newton's clearly the starting quarterback. Oh, it's pretty obvious Cam Newton's the starting quarterback. Oh, starting quarterback Cam Newton. Grand opening, grand closing. As of today, it's Mac Jones, who hasn't even played with the first string, according to what I was reading all up until now.
Wow.
So then there's other
Shit.
speculation of, well, I mean, even the fact that Ron Washington didn't want him, that's very telling. You know, there's rumors of Ron Washington. He's trending right now, actually, because, you know, is he going to be on Washington? No, probably not. Then there's memes of Tyrod Taylor and Teddy Bridgewater. They're like, but I don't think he's going to take their gig. What's going to happen with Cam Newton? Maybe he's weaker than we think he is. I mean, if he got cut like that, and we all assume that, or maybe he's just a big problem. You know, we all assume he'd be the starting quarterback.
You don't know. You really don't know what the deal is going to be with Cam Newton's
breaking
future
news.
now.
As soon as I hit social media, when I got here this morning, I was like, oh, shit. Was not expecting that because every article and every expert, which is everyone thinks they're an expert nowadays, but every expert out there, quote unquote expert, swore that Cam Newton was going to be the starting quarterback just based on what we saw this preseason, based on the pedigree and the name.
And based on what you read and hear, but we discovered that last year during the NFL draft, not to get to sports, but it's all smokescreen half the time. Like the same reason the 49ers keep talking about how great Jimmy Garoppolo is. They're talking about how great Jimmy Garoppolo is so that his trade value's high because they really want to unload him and just fucking throw Trey Lance in there. So
especially when he smiles.
It's always...
He's got a lot of gray hair now. Did you see that?
It's always...
Getting that old, distinguished look.
It's always some type of smokescreen when it comes to these... Hey, what did Tom Brady say on the shop?
I'm more
that 90%. What did he say? He said 90% of the things he says to the press is bullshit. Remember he said that?
Well,
Tom Brady says 90% of the things he says to the media and reporters is just not factual. So with that said, I mean,
goes back to the saying of you never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, right? You're not giving up all your cards. We were led to believe that Cam Newton was the guy. Maybe they wanted to show that he had some value still, and they knew all along they were getting rid of the dude. But where does he end up? Maybe in Denver, speaking of your brother.
Do you think Cam got cut because he wouldn't take the vaccine? There's conspiracy theories there.
Well, there's a lot of controversy. That's a whole other story in the NFL, you know, the divide amongst the players and what's going on with that and the repercussions of not getting the vaccine.
Maybe he wasn't connecting with the offense like Mac Jones.
Love
Hey,
Jones.
Spotty, pull up that graphic one last time, and then we'll move on from Cam because we've said it. There's nothing else to be said. Cam Newton got cut. He's out. Mac Jones. Look at the starting ages of the AFC East. Josh Allen, 25, is the oldest starting quarterback in the AFC East. 2 is 23. Zach Wilson, who's going to be playing on the Jets, 22 years old with his hot mom. And Mac Jones, 22. A new era in the AFC East.
Have some respect. This is mom.
His mother.
She's not that hot.
Yeah, I mean, she's a hot mom.
I mean, she's all right.
I mean, she's a good-looking mother.
She's not a smoke show. It's more of a smoke screen. Ain't that right, Smoke Bro?
Face mask.
It's a face mask.
It's a face shielding.
Yeah, it's a face shield. By the way, you get what you pay for. $1. This is what you get. What a piece of shit this is.
Is there a money issue? I don't think, because they're not paying. They weren't going to pay Cam a lot, so I don't know, man.
It's an attitude issue. It's like a risk-reward issue. It's like,
Yeah, the risk we're taking on this guy,
And he's back.
it's really not worth it because I look better with the fucking face mask on. It's really, I look tired as fuck. It's probably a little bit of an attitude. Like the other story, the reason Ron Rivera is trending is like, hey, if Ron Rivera didn't want to reunite with this guy when he had the opportunities to, doesn't that say everything? You know, he's a diva. There's no fucking question.
There's something going on.
No, when we were doing ESPN, remember those days?
Yeah.
I would often say, it appears to me that he's more concerned with his fashion than he is with football.
And you know what? People
And
laughed
would
at
laugh. People would laugh at me.
I remember Mina Kimes was like, really, Covino? You think Cam cares that much about his fashion? Well, Mina, I asked you this morning. Where's he now?
I was
out of the fucking league.
Leaning towards, well, if you really look at it, it seems to be his priority right now.
Seems like picking out his post-game hat was the priority.
Yeah, and that was my observation and my joke. I was like, it doesn't look like he's going to play football. It looks like he's going to a fashion show. And that's his thing. And maybe he's just gearing up for that second chapter of his life. I wasn't even mocking him when I would say things like that. I'm saying that his focus was maybe somewhere else. And maybe that was his next sort of frontier.
Well,
because
Jamie,
he is a fashionable guy. And people would laugh at me. And my point was, it didn't seem like football was his thing. And then he came back and he's like, you're going to see the best Cam ever. But he had a lot to prove.
And
he didn't really prove
he
it.
said he woke up, he gave that schedule where it's like, I wake up every day at 3 a.m. to start traveling because he never moved to the New England area.
3 a.m. He must be lonely.
Eternal.
So that's the story. Cam Newton.
Well,
he's a talented guy, past his prime, and maybe not worth the pain in the ass that he is.
Well, someone will, I'm not going to say take a chance on Cam Newton, but there's so many injuries in the NFL.
Well, the Texans and the
There's
Broncos are the rumors.
There's an extra game in the NFL this year. Keep that in mind. We forget. There's 17 games. So that's one more opportunity for a quarterback to get banged up or be hurt. So I don't think you've seen the last of Cam Newton. Maybe not in a starting position. But
That's the thing.
Cam was out last week because of COVID protocols and because he wasn't vaccinated. And Mac looked better all preseason.
Mac looked, again, according to what you were reading, looked phenomenal, right? He looked incredible. But the criticism or the speculation was he wasn't really playing with the other starters. So what sort of chemistry does he have with them? So it's pretty evident that Cam's going to be the guy. But he's not as of today.
Cam.
And we don't know, at least I don't know what the truth is. There's always the truth and the spin. We might not ever get the truth because, again, they're trying to keep his value up, and he's trying to keep his value up. So we'll probably get the spin. He'll end up somewhere else, and that's the story. I agree with Rich. Maybe as a backup role, and then he got to win his job back and get a chance like that.
There's never the truth. Tom Brady confirmed that. I think that was the funny thing that everyone's like, haha, Tom. No. Tom Brady said he truly never tells the media and the press the real story because you don't want to give your hand, right? You don't want to show people what you want to do.
Not at all.
So with that said, I mean, the Patriots probably had a very good reason, but they were probably, maybe behind the scenes, they were trying to deal him and no one wanted to take him.
I mean,
and then they were like, well, fuck
take
it.
from this what you will, right?
Yeah.
But Belichick, that's what I call him. Belichick.
Bill
That's how you
Belichick.
just bring it all into one.
I was gonna say,
That's my thing. I just started it right now. Belichick.
I've never heard that.
Because I didn't mean to say it,
That's great.
but I'm rolling with it.
Smart.
Belichick lived off of the Patriot way, right? The Patriot way. Did it really seem like Cam Newton was going to be the type of guy to conform to the Patriot way or do things the Cam Newton way? That's my speculation. I'm not saying he did anything or that there was evidence of, look how fucking terrible he was. Mm-hmm. I mean, he wasn't the Cam Newton we know, right? Or we expected as far as athleticism. But he might be a giant pain in the ass like everyone speculates. Like there was a reason, even Terrell Owens, it goes back to that old example that we've used for years, right, Rich? But he said recently that he could still play. He said this in the past few days. He could still play in the NFL.
Well, Larry Fitzgerald is 38 years old today.
Well,
and Larry Fitzgerald just decided that it was,
he's
end of the road.
clearly a delight to deal with, right?
Larry Fitzgerald, a delight.
Terrell Owens, he had games still, 5 years ago.
Even Ocho Cinco was sort of becoming a pain in the ass. And I say pain in the ass.
It's not worth it at a certain point. It's like, are you that? It's like a relationship. You put up with a lot, right? But
especially if they got some titties.
If they got some tatties, you're willing to put up with more. As their skill level goes down, you're not willing to put up with as much.
So you're saying as they start to get wrinkles and those tatties sag, your fuse is a little shorter?
It's really not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have that attitude with those saggy titties.
There's a fine line between sag and flop.
All right, big titties equals skill level, right? Or hotness equals skill level.
Firm
the
big titties.
hotter the person
firm
is,
big titties equals skill level.
Sophia Beverly's a
unfortunately,
PhD.
guess what? You're willing to deal more with Sophia Beverly than you are with some haggard woman.
You got that right.
Or someone that's not on their prime. You know?
Got that right.
If someone's not in their prime and she's breaking your balls, you're going to be like, you know what? Sophia Beverly got bigger tatties.
Yeah.
And that's our analogy. Sticking to it.
Mac Jones has tatties. You said the dad bod on that guy?
So, yeah.
They're all soft when they're young.
I know. Well, hey, listen, NFL, man, what, 2 weeks away? How do you not get excited about that? I'm so pumped. When's the NFL kickoff? What game? What is that?
It's the
what game? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we're just days away.
It's the Giants. I know that because it's the 9/11 thing.
New York Football Giants.
Actually, no, I'm wrong about that. It's Cowboys Bucks Thursday the 9th. So
I knew that from Hard Knocks.
Wow, Bucks coming out with a win right away.
By the way, Hard Knocks, they can't even pull a preseason win. Not that it matters, but they're not playing that well. Hard Knocks is fantastic with the Cowboys this season. Just want to throw that out there.
Almost makes you want to root for.
I saw our buddy Drew Mack made a comment, and I'll back him up on it. He said, I just want to give props to the camera work and these drone operators. The camera work on
They've gone
Hard
next
Knocks
level.
is next level.
I heard that.
Phenomenal.
It really is like a film.
Yeah,
They're like
when you're
films.
making these observations, you know it has to be next level. It's like, yeah, we know that there's drone footage, but when you see what they're pulling off on this HBO show, you're like, fuck, I don't even care about Ezekiel Elliott. That drone work is incredible. So anyway, the Cowboys
Look at
on
that.
Hard Knocks is a very interesting watch, and they kick off the season.
Look at that drone work at the Field of Dreams game. They're stepping up their.
Yeah, that was good too.
They're stepping it up.
By the way, if you're
It's like a
watching, you
movie.
know what I'm talking
They're all
about.
like movies.
I was
Budget, bro.
gonna try to fuck with you guys because when I was on the beach in Montauk, there was someone late at night that had like a fucking monster drone, but it wasn't like a little kid playing
Montauk
with
monster
one.
drone?
A Montauk monster drone, but honestly, a drone like
Do people even remember that?
No.
the Montauk monster.
I made that reference yesterday when talking about your son, and then I realized when I said it, like you could see the look of deflating and defeat in my face.
Well, it was
Like,
a 10-year-old reference. They
yeah.
found like a serpent or
It's like
some
when
type
I-
of sea creature.
It's like when I brought up Jerry Mathers yesterday. I was like, that was a 60-year-old reference,
Wally?
right? I am key. You know, when I said Montauk Monster, I realized I'm the only guy that remembers this. So fuck, that sucks.
So just think of
Drones.
drones and the drone was like the size of this table but bigger, and like 3 guys were operating it. But at first glance, until you're like, what is that? I could have took footage where I was like, dude, Covino, I saw a UFO, because this thing was very high up and a bright light, and it was darting left and right. And I'm like, yo, there are definitely people
think
that saw a
they're-
drone that saw
I
that.
think I'm going to enter the drone world.
I think they have to have certain type of lighting
Well,
to
this drone,
differentiate it from.
Someone's into
A
drones. Hit me
UFO.
up. I'm going to become drone guy. I feel
Has
like I
to
could
be
have a lot of
blinking
fun with
light
it.
or some shit. Yeah, drones are pretty dope, but I'm telling you, they're taking these TV shows and our sporting events next level with the camera work. But
Drone guy.
football, it's a few weeks away. We're excited about it. I'm still excited about baseball, even though the Yankees have lost 3 in a row after their 13-game winning streak. That fires me down. Blackouts fire me down. If you have the MLB app and your team is playing, they're playing in California this week. I'm not able to watch them on the app. That fires me down. But I was able to watch Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh, God.
Smoke, bro. Smoke Bros.
Smoke Bros.
Smoke Bros. Smoke Bros. We'll talk about that.
All right.
So get into your brother reunion. Broncos. Is he going to be excited to have Cam Newton on his team or what?
when that happens.
Rich's brother is a big Broncos fan.
Well, they did announce that Drew Lock is not starting, by the way, for the Broncos. Fun fact. No, I saw my brother on Sunday. Saturday. My dad's house. I saw my brother. My dad had the siblings over on
Why is he wearing his mask?
Saturday, and it was really it was great to see Top Jimmy. It was good. We walked to the playground with the kids, and it was cool to see my brother and my sister on Saturday. I didn't see them as long as I saw other people. That's all.
Oh, he didn't bring little Wesley?
No,
Ah,
No.
man.
I did not see my brother's wife or the kid.
You know what happened? The mom was like, yeah, Rich is hobnobbing. I don't want him with my son.
That would be the better story. Let's see. I love the Broncos so much. I named my daughter Denver. What's up, Raymond?
Hey,
But-
buddy.
Yeah, it was cool to see my brother. Honestly, it's like some people you see for a little amount of time. Some people you
have like a nice little
you
lunch.
You spend the whole day with. Like
Did he get fat? Is there anything fun to tell us or no?
my brother.
Yeah. Like I was talking to my buddy Barnando, right? And I haven't seen Barnando in a minute.
What's up, bro?
And I was telling him about all this new CNR merch we got.
I got like 10 kids now, bro.
And
He's
I was like,
send me an XXL. And
Yeah,
it's like,
no.
what? He's like, fucking fat guy now?
you just summed up the story. Yeah, you know,
Oh.
I could have drug it out a little longer, but
Yeah, bro.
Barnando
I'm
used
like-
to be 140 pounds soaking
I'm like,
wet.
say what? You used to be, last I saw you were barely a medium.
Barry was the guy that had abs because he was skinny. It was like, Barry, that doesn't count. You're skinny with abs.
Dad bod, bro.
To sum it up, he said, yeah, I grew out of my old hog off shirt. Super Rare Shop made us like bootlegs hog off shirts years ago.
That's
right.
great.
But they were great quality. And Barry ended up with one. I ended up with one, and our buddy Becker from Baltimore ended up with one. They only made 3. Barry's like, my wife wears it now. I don't wear that one anymore, so I could use a new one. And I'm like,
Got tight, bro.
yeah, he said it doesn't fit me anymore. I was like, it doesn't fit you. What do you mean? What do you mean?
There's T-shirts that get snug over the ears,
Nah,
gonna say
bro, I got the
shrink,
same
but I mean, like,
one.
but there are shirts,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's one that shrinks.
I need an XXXL, bro. I'm like, wow, okay. Dad life.
I see you go up to 4X. Do you go that any higher?
When you don't see people for a while, anything's possible. So your brother looked good. He was feeling good.
Yeah, Jimmy looked good. Oh, my dad, he went, oh, your brother looked good. Your brother looked good.
Had a little scruff. He's like a man now.
Yeah, it was nice to see Top Jim. He's
Sweet pair of New Balance.
sweet pair of New Balance, cutting his lawn, doing his thing. But
I'd hate to be your brother too because everyone treats him like a kid, right? Like even I do. I feel like Jimmy, Jimmy, that little guy. He's like a
if you
man
act
now.
like a boy. You deserve to be treated like a boy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe
that's it. You're right.
If you don't act like a man,
Right.
you can't expect to be treated like a man.
But is it his fault? He has a nice disposition, a sweet disposition about himself. So even I got this image of Jimmy, but he's probably, scruff, man, dad now.
I saw my mom we took my mom out for breakfast one day. I met up with her. We took we went to IHOP with the kids.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, I saw my mom for like 2 hours, went to IHOP, and then what did we do? We just drove around for a little bit. Hung out. Nothing,
Dude,
nothing crazy.
That's plenty.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you saw her at all.
Oh yeah, I saw she met Ben. We went to IHOP and I got
He's such a beef ball.
the
Richie.
Silver 5, which was
Richie, he looks just like you with Sarah's hair.
But he's a beef ball.
Who said this? Did Carrie Kuhneman, our favorite woman from Minnesota? Someone said, was it Elisa? Somebody said, isn't it crazy how Ben looks like Rich with Sarah's eyeballs and Emmy looks like Sarah with Rich's eyeballs?
And by the way, Carrie
so
Kuhneman,
true.
Carrie Kuhneman nailed that more than anyone.
Was it her?
It was
pretty
Carrie
good. Oh,
Kuhneman
okay.
because I hit her up and I think I said I sort of knew that, but no one else has said it so perfectly because Emmy has brown eyes and Ben has big blue eyes, but it's the reverse of Sarah and I.
Yeah,
So
Ben looks just
Ben's
like you
me with blue
Sarah's
eyes.
eyes.
Yeah, and Emmy is Sarah with dark eyes.
Richie, he looks just like you with Sarah's eyes. Was your mom taken
Yeah,
by how much Ben looks like you?
Yeah, she's like, I wish I could have spent more time with him. I was like, oh, you've had plenty of time to do that, and you can,
Sorry, Mom.
yeah, you could make.
Sorry, Mom. I had 600 other people to see.
No, but it's like it's like when people say I want to spend time
Today.
That's on
today.
them,
Just today.
Who else did you see that you didn't
600 people.
Who else did I
I gotta
see?
go here and then here and then here.
No, but yeah, I mean, listen. I told my mom, I go, come out to California. You can spend all the time you want with him. I mean, it's what.
Parents do what parents do, bro. Don't get frustrated about it.
No, like I'm saying, like I saw my dad, like most of the week.
Hell's Gators. Yeah, but you stayed with him.
No, but I'm saying
Papa
like,
G.
we did things and stuff. My mom, we saw her for 2 hours going to lunch, and that was really the most she was accessible to really do. So I was like, well, if you want to spend more time with him, then I'll book you a flight to California. Stay here for a week.
Well,
you got nothing going on.
You know how Ben is you
So, yeah.
with Sarah's eyeballs?
Yeah.
Jimmy is your dad with your mom's personality. Right?
Jimmy looks like my dad.
Because Jimmy's got that, Greg sort of vibe about him. Oh. But a younger vibe. But clearly, he only hung out for one day. He
Yeah.
has his own life. He's doing his own thing. But I'm glad you got to catch up with everybody because we heard all the stories yesterday. And there was a lot of speculation like, hey, man, I hope Rich got to see his mom and his brother. And there's the update.
Yeah, no, I took mom to IHOP, and what did I do? And with my brother came to my dad's house. And by the way, my dad's neighborhood has changed. Not a good thing or a bad thing, but the neighborhood has changed where my dad is like, I think I'm the only white guy around here. We took a walk to the park, and the area where my dad lives in Queens is very Indian and Asian now, where when we went to the park to play, like Emmy and Ben stuck out like a sore thumb. Like every little kid running around was a little Indian kid or a little Asian kid. And it was like the opposite.
And now and now your dad chooses to get rid of his ping pong table? He's missing his calling. You should take them all on.
I mean, Ben are like children of the corn wandering around the park.
It happens. It happens. You should go to Woodbridge, New Jersey. Woodbridge, New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Used to be where I would go for to go to the mall. I would go to
Woodbridge
Woodbridge,
Mall.
New Jersey,
Woodbridge,
just
yeah,
to go
no, I
to
know
the
the mall.
mall.
I know the mall there,
Woodbridge
yeah.
Mall.
Woodbridge Mall.
in New Jersey. And
You
it's,
would choose Woodbridge over Menlo, huh?
it's back in the day, exit 130 off the Garden State Parkway.
There's a lot about you.
Hey, Spot, how do we make it? Can we get a Hell's Gator shirt for the next run?
Hell's
Gators.
Hell's Randall's
Gators.
Island. Oh.
Hell's
Have them
Gator.
send a photo of the
Hell's
of the
Gators.
hat, and I'll have it recreated.
Oh. So I
Photo
used to go
your
to
dad.
Woodbridge, New Jersey. Dude, there was one point, I don't know what happened, like word went out, like to everyone in India. Yo, Edison, New Jersey, right by Woodbridge.
There.
That's where all the Indians go for spring break. I don't know what the fuck, how that happened.
All the hottest Indian women.
Yeah.
Woodbridge.
This one town, like word must have got out, like this is the spot. And that whole town is now just Indian people.
Little Mumbai.
Right? Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, how did that happen? How does that happen? It's amazing. It's got to be word of mouth. Like, hey,
Yeah.
this
Well,
family moved there. They're prospering. They're doing well.
wonder
Like
if
Scott,
I wonder if
Scotch
it's,
Plains, Scotch Plains is all Italian people.
Right.
Or used to be.
I do wonder though, is it a thing where a few people in a culture in
They start doing well.
a few
Someone
a few
opens
families,
a donut shop.
No, a few families.
Families from I think a few families from like a village.
A few families
Will
from
move.
a big community move to an area,
Yeah.
and then everyone follows. I mean, it happened 100 years ago when it was like, hey, how does Bensonhurst, Brooklyn become Italian? All the Italian people decide,
And
hey,
that
you
makes
were all
sense.
moving there.
When
oh,
you,
shit.
Oh, he spilled coffee
I spilled
all in your
coffee.
crevices on the last day. Today's probably going to be our last show here. What a way to go out, Rich. Yeah.
All over the wires.
But let me,
I'll get it out
while
of the
you clean that
crevices.
up, I'll make the point that you were making.
Damn it.
In the crevices.
When
get
it
the
happened-
I'll
wires.
get it out of the crevices.
When
don't
it
worry.
happened 100 years ago with Spot's Italian friends and family in Scotch Plains,
And that
we
was-
accept that. When you see it happen right before your very eyes, now you're like, oh shit. That's pretty cool. Yeah, man.
Jesus, Rich. In the crevice.
I'll get it out of the crevice. I'll blow it out of the crevice. Good thing you have junk mail.
Good
From
thing this
AARP.
is good thing this is the last show, huh? The last show from Spot's house, we think.
We think is tomorrow the day?
We think. But I briefly speculated on this when I talked about the Donut King documentary, The Donut King on Hulu. It's so good.
I recommended that to people without ever watching it.
Oh, really?
Not because I don't like to recommend things I've never watched, but someone was talking about donuts, and I was like, if you're having these in-depth conversations about donuts, I was like, Covino told me
It's a story of inspiration.
about the ultimate donut documentary. So I was like, if you're a donut person,
But it's about this Cambodian guy who comes here and he makes a killing. And then he becomes a sponsor of sorts, recruiting all other Cambodians to specific parts of LA and giving them an opportunity to open up their own donut shops and basically teaching them the ways. And then before you know it, there's, thousands of Cambodian people in a smaller town. And where Rich's dad lives, word got out. Asians and Indians are doing well in this area, and they built a community. It's cool to see, though, or different to see.
That spray.
But you know what happens? People have to be moving out for that to happen.
It's very potent. Be careful.
So, all right. Rich spilled coffee if you're not watching on Tier 2. If you're not watching on Tier 2, may I suggest tomorrow the time to start
And can I
because
get-
it's the first of the month.
first of the month.
And
Can we get rated? We get our report card tomorrow?
we most likely will be doing it live from our new studio, and I'm excited to hear what Rich thinks about it. I said Rich funny.
Yeah, because it's in. Wait, hang on. Sorry, I was
Man.
getting cleaning supplies because it's in his house, so he got to see it last night. So I'm curious his thoughts.
See it too, no?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
No, Spot though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've seen pictures of the work. So, what's the scoop?
I think the studio.
And we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
We're glad to hear that Rich caught up with his family. His dad's neighborhood is changing. It happens.
What's that? I mean, it's not like a terrible thing or a bad thing. It's just it's wild how you grow up somewhere, you live somewhere, and then
Yeah, the
out of nowhere
Boombots
you're like,
family
wait,
moved
how did-
out, and
it happened in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, where I lived for a while. It was such an Italian area, and
All the girls there.
All the Guidos there.
All the girls had that Italian body.
All the girls there had that crunchy, curly hair in the 2000s. In the 90s.
Italian body.
That Italian body.
So we went from having Italian bodies to everyone in that area became like an Asian area. And you do wonder, like,
It's
how?
thick. It's thick, like
Gabagool.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Went from
soft,
gabagool
like-
to
Mozzarella.
gabagool to
thick and soft.
General Chow's.
Hold on.
Now it's just cleaning supplies.
Wow.
Dirt.
Rich is cleaning
Taking the crumbs out of
the
your
coffee that he spilled. It's all in the
Did
crevices
you clean?
of the wood.
Did any of those wires get stuff on them?
Yeah, but I'll worry about that later.
I'll worry about that later. That's sensitive equipment.
The wire?
Yeah. By the way, you better not be doing shit in our new studio space.
There you go.
Oh, I should have them install like cup holders.
So, Rich,
Write that down.
give us the scoop, the scooparoo
The scooparoo?
on what you saw when you got home from your East Coast trip, the East Coast Rich Davis tour of 2021.
I think it looks really good. I really do. I think everyone's gonna be like, wow, that's impressive.
I'm very impressed.
Now
we got to
here-
separate ourselves from every other rinky-dink podcast, because we're not that.
hold on, I'm reading the feedback. I
And-
want to read the feedback and then I'll tell you about the studio.
Yeah.
Um,
My neighbor.
let's see.
You know your dad's the representation of like white people.
Yeah.
I hope he's doing a good job.
My neighbor, Suresh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how you doing, Samir?
Oh, these are my two new Asian neighbors. Say hi to June. Oh, hi, June.
And
I would tell you how June talks, but that would be racist in 21.
This is Judy. I think she's Filipino.
Rich blowing coffee at a Spot's table. Hilarious. Here's the thing, though. I have one thought. Where is my dad from? Floral Park area? Actually, Bill, pretty close. My dad's in Queens Village, Floral Park border, which I guess it's known that that's become a very Indian area. Again, nothing wrong with that. As Seinfeld would say, nothing wrong with that. But it is crazy to think that our parents moved to an area or our grandparents moved to an area that had a reputation last century. But we forget. Generations change. So when you say, Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, Italian. Yeah, you know when that was Italian? When people came here in the early 1900s from Italy.
Like,
you know what Bensonhurst, Brooklyn is now? Yeah, a melting pot. Tons of Asian people, Italian people, Indian people, everything. So when older generations say, this area used to be very Irish, it's like, yeah, it was Irish in the 1920s. And since then, slowly but surely.
Well, that's why,
For a long time, though, because even in our lifetime, most of where I lived was Irish and Italian.
like Little Italy in New
But not
York.
anymore.
If you've ever been through New York City in Little Italy, or if you go for like the Feast of San Gennaro, Little Italy used to be like a whole neighborhood downtown,
Yeah.
even though it was little. And then now it's reduced, honestly, to a block inside Chinatown. Same with Uptown, Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, where my grandparents lived. The whole neighborhood was Italian. That's why there's like one little block now where you go to all the Italian shops that have been there for 100 years. You get your mozzarella and your gabagool and your bread and all this. But like outside of that, it's all the neighborhoods just change. That's how it is. It's like there's just such a melting pot of cultures now.
This is how it is.
That not one culture takes over a neighborhood.
Oh.
But
the
100
only-
years ago.
The only white guy. But your dad
100
has all these new people to tell his stories to.
Well, here's the thing. What's
I
crazy
was on a
is-
team called the Hell's Gate.
Hell's Gators.
What's crazy about that when you talk about different cultures and neighborhoods? One last thought, and then I have a list of doodles, but the doodles and a list of fun things to get to. But when you
Look at those doodles.
when you think about cultures and neighborhoods, it's like a weird thing. You know how when you root for someone of your own ethnicity, unless it's in the Olympics or boxing, it's considered racist, but all of a sudden it's like a free pass when it's like
Certain cultures are way better at this.
Like
Greeks and Portuguese people, like sticking together and rooting for each other.
Like Jewish people are allowed to say, "Oh, I want my daughter to
Jewish
marry
people.
another Jewish person," but that's not racist. But if someone's like, I want my kid to end up with another white kid," you're like, that's racist. Like there's little loopholes of what's racist or what's not, right? I find it interesting how 100 years ago, communities were based and settled by different cultures. And now if you start describing an area, you almost have to tiptoe around it like you're saying dirty words. Like 100 years ago or so, communities came. Why is this area an Irish area? You know why? Because a bunch of Irish people came here and settled here, and they told their friends, like, hey, move to New York. All the Irish people are in Canarsie. And that's sort of how things happened, right? Jersey City started developing very Indian, because I guarantee you, someone's like, we're settling here in Jersey, in the 2000s, 90s. It was like up and coming community. A lot of Indian people moving here said, hey, let's go to Jersey City. It's weird how what used to just be cultural, you now have to tiptoe around because you don't want to say something wrong, but you're not saying anything wrong.
I hope your dad isn't saying anything wrong.
There's also
Is that a weird thought? Like you have to almost what
money involved as well. Like I feel like a lot of these neighborhoods you speak of are affluence. Like it's a lot of people of affluence from these other cultures that come and they're doing things like they're doing higher end jobs like in the medical field or all that kind of stuff. So that's a lot of times too, they'll settle in certain neighborhoods because it's accessible to like Manhattan.
You guys know Jake Paul, the fighter that retired after 4 fights?
I heard about that.
Yeah. How old's he?
Smooth transition. Heard of him.
No, I'm only getting because it's a cultural thing.
Heard of him.
Jake Paul, the guy that after 4 fights said, I made $100 million. Fuck everyone. Ha ha, I retire.
Current status retired.
Yeah.
Retired from boxing, according to his social media.
So the fight before the Jake Paul fight that Covino did a behind the velvet rope for. The
2 hours spectacular.
The female boxing co-headliner.
Serrano versus some Mexican chick. I forgot her name.
The trainer of who won? Serrano, right?
Mm-hmm.
Serrano's trainer.
She said, "Fuck you, Jobu."
She was so sweet,
good reference,
and so humble in victory. Like, are you the best pound per pound? And she's like, I just to be mentioned among the best. Like, she was so humble. Meanwhile, her trainer was the most abrasive, old school Hispanic guy. That's like, started saying stuff like, we wanted our opponent to be a real Mexican and fight like a Mexican. And he was just saying a lot of stuff that I'm like, yo, is this flying right now? You didn't notice that?
Yeah.
I was like, culturally, it was a Puerto Rican fighter versus a Mexican fighter. And he called out the other female fighter for not being Mexican enough. And I was like, wow, that didn't even get a mention from the broadcasters?
I mean, sometimes you just move on.
Yeah.
You know, like Logan Paul said something pretty foolish, and Brian Custard didn't even blink because why dive into that? And Dave Portnoy actually called it out. Logan Paul said, I retired Floyd Mayweather. He's like, I fought Floyd Mayweather. I retired Floyd Mayweather. Brian Custard just sat there like, you retired Floyd Mayweather? He didn't say anything. Just let him say what he had to say. Because then you become involved.
Did he actually
in this
say
engagement. That? Yeah, he said that.
He said you retired Floyd Mayweather?
No, but he was thinking that. He didn't, why engage in this nonsense? So, what do you think? You expected like Mauro Ronaldo to be like, quite crazy words from the trainer there. Yeah. I just want everyone to know that on behalf of this broadcast, we do not condone.
I'm just saying, in 2021, you didn't expect that?
I mean, at that point, it had nothing to do with it.
True.
I don't want to get involved. I wouldn't want to get involved. But I think, in the world of fighting, too, I knew exactly what he meant.
Well, Jake Paul gets punched one time and quits. Did he really make $100 million? I don't think so. But he made millions, though. You got to give him credit for that. So I don't know where you want to go next. There's a lot to get to. So you tell me.
I mean, I'll just jump into some shit.
Go ahead.
You're going to dilly-dally. If we're playing hopscotch, I'm jumping in.
My daughter plays hopscotch. You can play with her.
Did we talk about the new studio?
The new studio, the one thing, it's not a rub. It's not a criticism.
Uh-oh.
It's one thing. And here's that one thing. I mean, we didn't go overboard, but we spent money upgrading the studio. It looks beautiful. It was money well spent. We got a great deal from a great guy. And the reason was because we think that by really creating a great studio and atmosphere, there is more of an incentive to go to tier 2. The show looks more pro, looks great. But I think Spot and Covino and I are not at a disagreement as to, does anyone really care what it looks like? Will we see a bump up in tier 2 because of the new studio.
Not a significant bump
Because
up,
if
but
people-
it's a level of pride you have to have. Do you want to compare yourself to fucking Johnny Rottenbush and his weak ass show from his basement?
No. I'm just saying, like, part of the reason you upgrade and have a nice studio is because you're trying to get more people to go to tier 2 and watch, and it's more of a video podcast. So are you assuming that people were waiting and they're like, all right, now the guy's got the new studio, let's check out the new digs? Because if there's no movement to tier 2, then I'm not saying we could have done the show from Spot's kitchen. We could have done it from my kitchen forever if there was really no movement in that number.
You know how many people have made like really passive aggressive comments about the background of our show?
Yeah,
And it really
completely disagree.
and it offends me.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
Because
Spot, is
I have to tell people-
those people are already watching.
That's my apartment. Yeah, they're
but
watching
you're
on
putting
social
out
media.
a product. It's like saying like you don't put pride into your product.
Everything is going to look. It's going to feed itself.
I agree. I'm not trying to
in public.
I'm not trying to be combative.
It'll look better.
I'm not trying to
I
be
know.
combative.
No,
I'm just
I
saying.
know.
I'm just saying. Like Joe Rogan created like that spaceship studio, and people are like,
Could've
what's
created
with the new studio? And I just think that if people like the product, they're listening or watching either way. I do wonder
I think
if there'll be a few people that have been like waiting for the studio, like, but their eyes can't watch us in Spot's living room, but all of a sudden we have a cool set.
Who's ever going to take you? People that sign checks, that hire people, who's ever going to take you serious doing it from anyone's living room, not your living room
Like
spot?
I know. I understand. Did you think I understand that this is not the ideal backdrop. It's getting the job
it's been
done.
great. I'm very thankful.
But at the same time, I completely agree that this is not what a podcast should look like.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, I wonder if there's a
Yes.
demographic of people
I
that are
think-
like, I'm on tier 1, I
No.
listen to these guys, but the minute they're in the new studio, I will now watch.
I think it's
That
not
wasn't the motive for
it's
me.
not. That's not it. I think moving forward, it's going to look much more professional.
Billy saying the social media clips will look more pro.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean it's
And
smoke
then
and mirrors.
and then it's going to be like, oh, then we're going to be the ... show, because the background will be recognizable.
right. You got to separate yourself as a legitimate show, so it's got to present in
Yeah,
a
like
specific
it'll
type of
look-
way. My motive wasn't like, oh, wait till we get all these. It was, well, at least we're going to present in a professional way that's appropriate for the quality and
Like,
level of our show.
I don't know about you, but when I see clips on like either Instagram or TikTok, when I'm scrolling through and I see like I stumble across a podcast, I do pay attention to their background, and if it looks like pro or looks kind of shitty, or if they're in like a bathroom.
And we
You
didn't
know,
go
it's-
overboard.
We didn't go overboard, but it's
not
it's like a fresh
cool.
coat of paint. It's polish.
No,
It
I
looks
agree. I think, and it's a fresh, nice start. I get it.
incredible. I'm so impressed with it.
Oh, I think it looks
By the way,
fantastic.
the guy-
I saw it.
Don't
first thing.
overhype. Let just people see.
Yeah, no, I think it looks great. Listen,
If you want
I
to,
think
if
it's
you
gonna-
want to do, if you want to do some homework, the guy that he listens to our show, his name's Ryan, works for a company that this past week, if you're into The Prophet, the show The Prophet
with Marcus Lemonis.
with Marcus Lemonis, his company was featured on The Prophet this past week. So if you want to do some homework and see who put our shit together, they did a great job.
So we're excited to take the show to
We got in just before The Prophet hit, so it's perfect.
another level.
Just before
And,
he hit it big.
you know, it has to complement what we do and has to complement the product and the quality of the show that we are. And that's what separates us from your friend's podcast. You know,
I say once we get up and running, do you do a little free sample of tier 2 for a couple days
Yeah,
just
of course.
to?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck? All right.
Well,
So
we'll have free Twitch Friday.
When you saw it, were you like, oh,
Rich is more curious than he is
Yeah,
doubtful. I'm
this
not
is-
doubtful. I'm curious
This
because I
speaks-
feel like there's things that I like, and look at like a late night talk show. If Jimmy Fallon redoes his set, or all of a sudden Conan goes from sitting at a desk to, remember the last year or so of Conan, it went from the desk to like he's sitting on a couch wearing like jeans now.
yeah, it was a pandemic too.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is like I wasn't like, man, I don't know if I could watch anymore. Like our set for Now or Never. That was a TV show, so it was based on TV. I thought that maybe we needed a cooler set.
This speaks to something that I always say, and that I find very difficult to convince the two of you, and I hope you're seeing it more and more. Reinvesting in your product is key. Like this is just another way of reinvesting.
You're not the first person to ever say that to me.
yeah,
in
but you
any
never
aspect.
listen.
But
and you never
it's not
have.
It's not always.
But you're starting to.
They're not
and
always
I
good
appreciate
investments.
that.
They're not always good investments.
No,
Like,
you don't
it's like,
think they're good investments, but they are.
I mean, agree to disagree on all of the stuff. Let's see. I think the content is what separates the show from your quote friends podcast.
But it's got to match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't fucking have clean socks and dirty underwear. You're going to put a good product out. You don't do it from your buddy's living room. You do it from a professional looking or, a cooler looking space. So, yes, the content is what makes or breaks and what keeps people subscribing, but it's got to be complemented with a nice backdrop. That's just how it is.
By the way, should we tell people the truth? We're actually in the new studio, and they just made it look like my
this is
apartment.
it. This is it.
Watch.
All right, here.
Drop the curtain.
No, this is it. This is your. It's a backdrop.
Maybe our
against
thinking's
the wall
all
that
wrong.
looks like my apartment.
Maybe we should do it from like a very slummy looking place because we really need subscribers.
These guys need help.
Yeah, man. Yo, guys, look.
Help them.
Fucking milk crates back here.
I think
People doing challenges behind us.
I think the overall branding and the overall look is going to look great on social, which is where we're really I would argue that we're reaching the most people on social.
If you're gonna gain any new
To
listeners,
gain
you
people.
think that anyone new is gonna want to subscribe to this? No offense.
There's a great point. I'm just saying of our current
Even if it's
people,
fucking a few people,
I think
they're
it'll
gonna be
look-
more likely. Oh, these guys, they must be legit. They seem professional.
Yeah, I think clips.
How
clips,
don't I know them? It's gonna give the impression of how don't I know these guys, as opposed to that's why I don't know these guys.
I can see that. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
well, then
I'm just saying the
how
current.
do you even speculate that?
I'm saying, do you think
that's where we belong? We deserve better. Period. That's how I see it.
we deserve better?
Yeah, we deserve a fuckload better than that. And we got a shit raw deal this whole past 2 years. Thanks to your support, we're able to stay afloat. Very grateful for that. So we're moving into a better space, but very thankful at the same time for you and for Spot for doing the show here. Until we were able to do something next level, not final level, but next level.
Nice.
And that starts tomorrow.
All right.
It starts tomorrow.
That's the plan.
Yeah,
anyway.
it could start tomorrow.
That's the plan.
We'll see.
Then again, we said this yesterday. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll get into some other stuff then. I have a question for you.
Go for it.
We have a mutual friend who's from my hometown. And, there's some characters from my hometown. I'm serious. Everybody knows a town where there's something in the water. Like, what's in the water there? I could give you two places that come to mind for me.
Yeah.
Jackson, New Jersey. Everyone I've ever met from Jackson, New Jersey, which is where Six Flags is, like the Great Adventure area, they're all a little weird, but like interesting, and I like the people there, but they're weird. And I had a lot of friends. I met a lot of college friends, and they were from that area, and I could smell them out. Like, are you from Jackson, New Jersey? Yeah, how'd you know? Because you're a fucking weirdo, that's why. But I like you. Union, New Jersey is full of characters. That's all I really have to say about it. I'm the least interesting of people that I grew up with.
Yeah.
I'm just the product of those people. But characters. And that has provided some interesting people. Artie Lang, Ray Liotta, Robert Wool, and, a bunch of, there's other radio DJs, like guys in New York that have made a name for themselves. They're from my hometown. And there's a kid who works for TMZ and now does his own thing. And he does really well. He worked at SiriusXM for a while in the Stern department. Adam, Adam
Glenn.
And he's no longer with TMZ, but he's one of those guys that gets a lot of tabloid scoop from people, and he does really well in that world.
Oh, yeah, he's great. He's really good at that stuff.
So props to our buddy Adam. He's from my hometown, and it's been cool to see his come up. He's now doing a podcast and other things and things like that. Long story short, the other day I'm cutting my hair, and I had a Britney moment. Even though the top is long, the top's fine. I just went real short, real tight.
You're
on the
even
side.
more Kim Jong Un right now.
It's well, it looks like there's no fade. There's a fade there. It's blended in. It's the lighting. It's just really high and really tight, but I was just sick of how it looked. And when you cut your own hair, you get ridiculous about being meticulous, and you just keep going. You never stop.
Were you gonna do a Jason Segel on How I Met Your Mother, where he's just like,
I was close. What happened was,
find that clip, Jason Segel on when he shaves his head on How I Met Your Mother.
now I'm dragging out the story, but I said to oh my God, did I almost say Layla? I said to Jordan, I got to get a haircut. She's like, you don't need a haircut. I said, I'm going to go get a haircut. She's like, you don't need it. I called the barber, and they were like, we don't have, they borderline said something sexist. They were like, yeah, the women here, that's all we have. We're short-staffed, and they don't give good fades. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, thanks for letting me know. Because I didn't really want a woman to cut my hair anyway, because I'm sexist too. Thanks, man. When it comes to my haircut and clips. That's it. Yeah. So I go.
That's what you.
Yeah. So I said to myself, well, if they didn't fit me in and they had no one available to cut my hair, I'll cut it myself. Save myself $55. And I cut way more hair than I thought. At first, I was giving myself like a Gio or Shella sort of, like almost like where you give yourself like a little baby mullet in the back a little bit.
You know who has that?
Short on the sides, but leave it in the middle.
Nicole's husband Matt has that, and it
Yeah.
doesn't look bad. And I notice it's very popular right now. It's almost like your fade goes.
Dude, I had it, and it looked good, and I should have left it. But you could never leave well enough alone, as Johnny Lawrence says. Never leave well enough alone, could you little punk? I couldn't. I kept going, and then I had to get rid of that. I had to fade it all up and then just fucking cut it real short. And there was hair everywhere. And my little splinter hair gets everywhere. And I had hair all over me. And it was all over me. When you cut your own hair, your hair is everywhere. Like screaming infidelities.
Yeah. The worst is when you get a haircut and you haven't really had a chance to shower yet. And you're like, oh, I want to lay down on the couch or the bed. But if you do, you're going to get fucking little hairs. You could do this as much as you want.
My little hair is so sharp and straight, it gives you splinters. It'll splinter within your clothes and your skin and everything. So my hair sucks with that, right? So the long story short, I cut my hair. It's everywhere. And my buddy Adam, hometown union kid who works for like TMZ stuff, calls me up, but he's FaceTiming me. I have hair all over me. Like I'm at my absolute worst. It's like, imagine what I'm there. I'm like in my boxers. I got my man titties out. I have hair all over me, like all over my face.
Okay, George Animal Steel.
Yo, for real. Like I have hair everywhere. I have bedhead. I look like that guy from when they pulled him out of the cave in 9/11.
That's you.
Remember that guy? Remember that dude I'm talking about?
Of course I know that guy.
I look like at my absolute worst. So I'm like, why is this guy FaceTiming me? I got hair I'm getting a haircut right now. I'm giving myself a haircut. So I ignore his FaceTime.
I've accidentally called that guy because he's first in my phone. His name is Adam. So sometimes but my contacts will open and I'm like, oh, I called Adam.
I guess I got to make it clear. We're very cool. And we go back. He worked at SiriusXM with us. He's from my hometown. We text from time to time. He's very supportive, as am I.
Yeah.
But I don't want to FaceTime this guy, even if I don't have hair all over me. Yeah. Okay? So, because I'm not on that level. I don't want to FaceTime Rich. That's nothing personal. I just don't.
I always assume if someone random like that is FaceTiming me, they're with a mutual friend and they're trying to pull a, Covino? I know Covino.
There you go. So, even more reason why I'm not taking this FaceTime.
Sorry to give you the punchline, because I assume it's always that. Like
I feel like he's bamboozling
if an old buddy hits me up like that, I'm assuming it's like, yo, guess who I bumped into? It's two buddies that bumped into each other, and they're like, wait, you know Covino? I know Covino. Let's fucking call that motherfucker.
Exactly, which is a fun, I get it. I don't want to ruin this fun game. I don't want to be the party pooper.
I didn't answer.
But this is why I explained I had hair all over me. My fucking strangle nipples were out. I'm like, I'm not picking up this call. I know it's for him to be FaceTiming me. He's gonna pull this. Look who I'm with.
Strangle hair nipples.
Yeah,
strangly nipple hair.
I have my fucking Michael Stray hairs out, and I look like this guy. Remember this guy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna send him to you, Spot. It's an old classic. It's an old classic. So I ignore the FaceTime. And I'll pose this question as the feedback comes in and tell you the rest of the story. The question goes, do you have to answer a FaceTime?
Yeah.
I feel it to be extremely intrusive, and a phone call or a text message is always suffice.
There's a reason.
I do not need to see your face. You do not need to see mine. It's intrusive. I don't want to answer the FaceTime, especially if I don't know you on that level. Go fuck yourself. I don't like it.
All right. Hey,
You
listen,
say yes?
What am I going to
say
do?
no.
All right, I'm not
You
gonna-
say yes.
I
say no. Spot says stop. And I say, let's go. Yeah. I say go, go, go. I say no, no, no. I say no. You don't fucking have to answer a FaceTime. I posed the question to you, 412-267-7469. This guy gets relentless. So now I know, he's definitely with somebody.
Yeah.
Because he wants my attention.
There you are.
No, I sent you the good picture, Spot. Why would you pull that guy up? This is the one you said. No, I sent you the right one. Fuck this guy. This is the one you said. But that's how I felt.
That's how he
So
felt.
in other words, I felt like that guy.
That's what you showed me.
No, I sent it to you, motherfucker. So I felt like that guy. And I'm not answering that fucking phone call when I feel like that guy.
There you are.
I mean, what's funnier?
What's funnier, that or the original
Or the
Spot?
fucking ugly fucking guy who they pulled
The
out of the
ugly
cave in
terrorist
9/11?
or Covino with messy hair?
Didn't come through quick enough, so
Right.
sorry.
Like I feel like he showed a dirty picture as opposed to a funny picture. That's all. It's not your fault. Spot couldn't tell the difference. His racist eyes thought that was me.
I agree 100% with 575.
Okay, go ahead.
Of course, Pig won't answer the phone.
Why should I have to?
Because your Pig
It's-
won't.
No, it's fucking intrusive, dude.
Your Pig won't.
I'm not
Let me do it again.
FaceTiming people in the privacy of their own day. Like, leave me alone. It's Sunday afternoon. Like, I want to FaceTime people.
Which is sort of like the perfect day to FaceTime
no,
someone.
fuck out of here. I don't even
Sunday
FaceTime my
afternoon.
family. So
You're what?
I said I don't even FaceTime my own family. I'm old school like that.
Well, that's so peculiar. But
I mean, I have the Echo Show. It's just not my go-to. So my point is, and I say all these things to explain that, so you understand why, like, this is not happening. Now he's relentlessly hitting me up, and I'm like, I'm not answering it, man. Like, you're assuming wrong. I know we're from the same hometown, but like, you should know better. Being from my hometown, that I'm not answering this phone now.
I mean,
And-
what am I going to argue your opinion? What do you want me to say?
I don't think you should have to. Spot, what do you say for real?
I mean,
Do you think you should have to
no,
answer
not
someone's
answer,
FaceTime?
but I'm just saying,
No.
like, look at the circumstance.
So then why
right?
is he
I
so
don't-
The
adamant?
circumstance is like if a family member FaceTimes you, it's an automatic answer. If an
No,
old school friend
not.
FaceTimes you, it's an automatic answer. Now, if
I don't wear clothes a lot.
if let's say a random person FaceTimes you, it's either one of two things. They butt dialed you, or it's a circumstance where, oh look, my old buddy Josh from the TV station FaceTime me. Oh, he's FaceTime me
Josh?
again.
I'm not answering that.
Know what I'm
FaceTime.
thinking? I'm thinking.
Josh from SNY? Nah, not answering.
But
I'm
you know, my
thinking-
first
Or Josh
thought,
from ESPN.
but my thought is, all right, Josh from ESPN.
You with someone.
My thought is, if I'm just gonna go through my phone, stop randomly here. If Paul Cubby Bryant FaceTimes me, if Cubby FaceTimes
Not
me,
answer.
I'm assuming he's with Scary or Scotty B or
That's
Elvis
great.
Duran or someone.
If
and
you're feeling yourself, you might answer. I explained that. I looked like the fucking terrorist from 9/11.
you never feel yourself though. You're always
That's
like,
not
I'm
true.
like 80%.
Okay,
I'm
well,
like
make up your mind. Or am I the guy with the biggest ego who thinks he's the coolest, or am I the guy who always feels like the guy who was pulled out of the cave in 9/11?
You always feel
I'm
like the
telling
guy out of
you,
the cave.
Oh, okay.
No,
So
no,
now
but you're always
to
like-
make the story, lean your way. That's how I always am. So I never feel myself. I never look good. If I was feeling good, I might want to answer that call. But I don't feel like I have to answer anyone's FaceTime just because they're calling me. That's my stance. You could debate it any way you want. I'm fucking chilling on my weekend, cutting my own hair. You have to factor that in too. I told you, I was like George
That's
Animal
even
Steel.
that's even funnier.
I'm
Like,
not
dude,
gonna
I'm
answer
cutting
a
my
phone
hair.
like that, knowing that they're gonna be with someone that I haven't fucking seen in forever. Like I get the vibe that's going on. I'm picking up on the signals.
But if you really want to know, at the end of the day, you're gonna be like, no, but it's insecurity. Like if you're an old buddy or an old high school or colleague FaceTimes you, and they're with someone else because clearly they're FaceTiming you multiple
I think I
times.
have every right to
If
not
I,
want to
let's see,
answer
let me
when
pick-
I told you I have hair all over me. That's your absolute weakest
Okay.
moment.
All right, I just landed on another person, Travis, our old radio ESPN guy.
Yeah.
If he FaceTimed you and then
Why
FaceTimed
not?
you
But
a
why
second
wouldn't he
time,
just fucking call me?
Yeah, but if he FaceTimed you then a second time, I'd assume he's probably with one of our old coworkers and they're like, yo, let's fucking hit up Covino. What's wrong with a little like, yo, bro, I'm in the middle of cutting my hair. What's up, dude? What, like you're the bummer that's like, dude, ignore.
Yeah.
So you ruined their little moment.
I ruined the moment.
Yeah.
Like, just admit that you ruined the moment, though.
Yeah, I know I did. That's what I'm here to tell you.
Ruiner.
I'm here to tell you, they have every right to. So did I feel a little bad about it? Maybe a little bit, but I felt like I was in the right. Like, yeah, I'm chilling. I'm not in that zone. I'm sitting here taking a shit. I'm cutting my hair. I got hair everywhere. Wrong, bad timing. You know, I appreciate the gesture. I'm glad you guys were talking about me. So I appreciate everything that's involved with it, but it's intrusive. I don't do those things. A text message is just fine. All right. That's why it's available.
There you go. Hey, listen.
So
to each his own. That's what makes people different. And
So
our differences are beautiful.
I call him up. And I'm like, hey, bud, sorry I missed you, man. I'm like in the weakest moment. I got hair all over me. I'm cutting my hair. I'm in the middle of like this whole fucking weekend cutting my hair thing.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, bro, yo, I'm here with somebody that wants to say hi.
Kanye?
And then he's pulling this like, I'm like, who?
Kanye.
He's like, I'm here with Derek Jeter who wants to say hi. And I'm like, it's possible, right? Because this kid knows people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to. I'm like, are you serious? And I don't like these I don't play these games. I don't
So
like
you
that.
would say.
Like, all right, now this is rubbing me the wrong way. Like, on all different levels now. I'm like, I don't want to play your little baby games. I got hair in my ears. I'm just calling to be respectful. Don't fuck with me and tell me you got Derek Jeter on the phone. I don't want to hear about this. Who is it? Just tell me who it is.
Is it actually Derek Jeter?
I really thought it was. So here I am, like being like, hey, what's up? And I feel like so lame. Like, can you imagine how lame I feel in this scenario? Like, I don't want to be like the little fanboy that's on the phone with Derek Jeter now. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, man, I don't want to FaceTime. I'm like, no.
Oh, this is awkward.
Yeah,
in every way. I love it. By the way,
awkward.
nothing
But his pushiness was making it awkward. I was just minding my business.
Nothing makes me more awkward. See, there's two things here. I'll give you both. Number one, you and I will disagree. And listen, I'm not going to convince you. You're not going to convince me. It's your personality type. If someone FaceTimes me multiple times, I'm assuming it's
you gotta factor in the timing.
I'm assuming it's too, unless I'm naked or just.
I mean, I was.
All right. Well, all right. I'm saying unless I'm naked or in the middle of taking a shit or like.
I was.
All right.
So give me some credit here.
But you wouldn't do it either way anyway.
That's not true. That's what I'm telling you.
No.
If I was like fucking out and about and I'm feeling myself, hey, why not? I'll answer this FaceTime.
So I would 90% of the time answer it. That doesn't make me any better or worse than you. It's just a different personality types. However, nothing is more awkward. Being on the radio and when we were doing television, anything, when someone goes, hey, here's my cousin. My cousin. This happens to me all the time.
It's so
my cousin listens to you in Covino, or my cousin listens to you on Hits One all the time. Say hi. Her name's Jackie. Hey, Jackie, what's going on? Hi. I really appreciate you listening. That's cool. Yeah, I hear you all the time. That's cool. Listen, I'm here with your cousin, and hey, we're having good times. Wish you could be here. Good talking. Bye now. Like, dude, it's fucking the worst.
So now I'm on this side of things, and I hate it. I'm like, Derek Jeter? I'm like, is it really? This is fucking awkward. Hey, dude, no, really, who is it? Hello? And then the person was talking to me, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm not hearing him. Everything about it was awkward, right? I'm like, oh, man, this is really fucking sucking right now. This is why you don't bother me on my weekend when I'm just trying to cut my hair when I'm minding my own business. So, and again, this is all from good intentions. I'm just giving you, again, the question. I'm posing the question. It's not, would Rich do this and would I not? It's, do you feel like you have to, an obligation to answer someone's FaceTime? Is there an obligation to respond and answer? Well, respond, yeah, later on, hey, man, sorry I missed you. But do you have to answer that? My answer is no. And I finally get where I get him back on the phone because he continues to FaceTime me after that. And I'm like, fuck, this dude really wants me to FaceTime him. I'm like, hey, man, I can't FaceTime you right now. I'm fucking like naked and shit.
And then?
Like, yeah. No, the payoff is not that great. It's about the question. Like, should I have been obligated to answer?
I mean, if he's going through all this effort, this seems like this has more effort than Alex Everts, who says I've lost touch with the common man because I answer my phone.
I'm sorry. Who the fuck? Who are you with? He's like, I'm in like Nebraska or some shit like that.
Oh, he was with Brian McFadden.
I'm hosting an event with your buddy Brian McFadden. He said you guys worked together at K-Rock. He helped you get your start, and he wanted to say what's up. It's just such a small world. And I'm like, man, I fucking love Brian. Tell him I said what's up. But like you telling me it was Derek Jeter was just adding to my fucking anxiety. Like I wasn't getting on the phone with fucking Derek Jeter. Like, hey Derek, I'm your biggest fan. With hair all over me in the middle of my Saturday, like answering an
Hairy
awkward
nipples.
FaceTime, hairy nipples
nipples.
out.
I mean, what do you want?
Straight hairs, looking like the guy from the cave in 9/11. Like that wasn't happening, especially when you're telling me it's Derek Jeter on the other end, which was a possibility. I know he's met him a few times. Yeah, you think I want to answer the phone looking like that? But anyway, I understand the payoff wasn't all that great. It was a buddy I haven't seen in a long time who, is a near and dear supporter of our show and friend, and I've known him since I was 21 years old.
I like Brian a lot.
Brian's a great guy.
He was
a VJ on MTV.
He was
back in the
Carson
TRL
Daly's
days.
number 2, and Carson Daly did TRL. Brian McFadden was the
He
second
was in
guy.
between Carson Daly and Damian Fahey, I believe.
Yeah,
So who the fuck is that, Spot?
I don't know.
that's you.
That's me. Yeah. But
It's you
what
if
is-
you went with a different hairstyle.
But I mean, you pulled it up. I mean, at least have an
Bill
explanation.
Jackson sent it to me.
I mean, well, who is it? Is it Kirk Hammett? Who is that?
So
Anyway,
I'm amazed how many people are so annoyed by this. To me,
it's about the obligation.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's
I don't want to FaceTime.
Maybe it's
Thank
people.
you, Spot, at least
no,
for understanding.
my brother James will always FaceTime me, and I just assume it's usually him laying at home on his couch with my nephew.
Yeah.
But Spot,
But a lot of
he
times-
FaceTimed you when he wanted to FaceTime
A lot of times
you,
I'm sitting
not
around
when
without a
you
shirt
wanted to be
on.
FaceTimed.
I'm sitting around without a shirt on, and I'm supposed to just like FaceTime with my brother with no shirt on. It's kind of weird.
It's your brother.
That's weird.
But you have to
My brother,
realize.
my
hey,
brother
listen.
doesn't want to see my nipples.
To each his own.
All right,
Who
well,
wants to
what's
see my nipples?
Covino? That hair
Do you
is
want to see my
whack,
nipples?
I mean,
Do you want me to take my
I
shirt
don't.
off?
I
now?
don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm gonna take my shirt off.
But I still love you. What hair, 303? My hair now? Yeah, my hair's fucking... I told you, I explained. I had a Jason Segel moment. I just kept going. I was like... So I had hair everywhere. That was the whole point of my backstory. So that you understood it was more than just me being a reluctant jerk-off or me being a stubborn, adamant...
Jerk-off is usually the story.
That's usually enough. There was more to it. I wasn't trying to be... I like the guy that was calling me. He's a nice guy. I wasn't trying to be a dick. But that just adds to the reasoning that I don't need to answer this call, and I'm not going to answer this call. Like, that's why I gave you the whole backstory. I wanted you to know about my hair scenario. I didn't bring up my hair for your criticism.
Don't FaceTime your friends. Just fly to New York and see them all. Be a man.
Be a man.
Be a man.
That's right, man. You just put that in my head now.
Oh God! Remember, microphone under the mask. Microphone under the mask. There you go.
I truly am.
Rich didn't have to FaceTime my buddy Adam because Rich saw him on his East Coast tour.
Oh, Adam? Oh, yeah. Him and I got drinks on
Didn't you
Wednesday
hang
night.
out-
Yeah.
You hung out with Brian McFadden too, right? And Derek Jeter. Rich saw
By the way,
everybody.
I connected those dots oddly well, only because when you said Nebraska, I was like, who's in Nebraska? Then I'm like, oh, yeah, Brian McFadden. I
in
saw
that
him
area.
hosting an event with
Chris Kirkpatrick.
with
What?
O-Town, Mark McGrath, and NSYNC.
Yeah.
They did like some like boy band throwback concert.
And our buddy Adam was involved.
Adam was probably there covering or doing something.
No,
and
he was hosting for a podcast he's
and
doing.
Brian McFadden is he's a guy that stayed in broadcasting. It's interesting. He went the news route, which is
Yeah, he's done all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Now, there is something cool about it that we could end on the positive note. Again, I posed the question, are you obligated to answer the FaceTime? I say no, especially if you're in the middle of some personal shit. The cool part is, wow, it's such a small world. And I do appreciate the sentiment that like, oh, yo, like that's awesome. I do not want to downplay how awesome that is. And that makes me feel good. Yeah, man, I'm from Union. And yeah, I got into radio. And you know, my buddy, do you know Steve Covino? Yeah, I know Steve Covino. Those are the fucking coolest moments.
And you
I think that's great.
fucking squashed it.
I fucking said, I reached out to him later on. Hey, man, caught me at a bad moment. Really appreciate that. You're the guy. Really? You were hosting that shit? Cool, man. That's awesome. Yeah, Brian's a good friend. Yeah. And then I reached out to Brian later on. Yo, dude, sorry I missed you. I was in the middle of taking a shit. My bad. But thanks, buddy. I had hair all over me. Miss you. Let's catch up soon.
That's that's sort of the fun of our show, though,
But
right?
I do appreciate those moments.
I guess the fun of our show is if we agreed on these type of things, then it would be like, yeah, I agree, man. Move on. To me, I get it. You're cutting your hair. You were not in the moment, but
I was in the worst moment.
I'm putting
bro.
myself on the other end of it. Let's say some dude worked with me at the college radio station,
what?
bumped into one of my.
Okay, can
So,
I,
yeah,
can
someone
I give you
know, it's
advice?
like,
Because
wait,
then you'd
you know
be that
Rich-
intrusive guy.
Well, no.
You'd be that annoying guy. Here's what you need to do.
I don't like your advice.
No, I'm gonna give
Just
you.
Say it's
I'm
your
gonna have this fucking riddle. I got the answer. I don't come here to just fucking bore you. I got the answer.
I don't think you do.
My friend Adam's a good guy. But don't do what Rich Davis is suggesting right now. It's the fucking weakest move. It puts people like me and Spa
You know why?
and
'Cause Rich is
90% in an awkward scenario. Yeah. It puts the receiving end of it, me in this case, in an awkward spot. Like, hey, man, I'm chilling with my kid, or I'm chilling with my girlfriend. I don't know who you got. Like, who are you gonna be on the other end of the line with? Like an old ex-girlfriend of mine or some shit? That ain't funny to me. And then you're fucking with me, telling me it's Derek Jeter.
Listen.
Fuck out of here.
Listen.
So hold on. Here's what you do. Hey, you know Rich Davis? Yo, I know Rich Davis. Hold on. Yo, let's take a selfie. And you send that fucking picture to your friend. It's non-intrusive. You made your point. It's a small world. We're talking about you. We respect you. Ta-da. You did your job. You don't need to fucking bother the guy and call him and FaceTime.
I've done the selfie move, by the way.
selfie
I've
move.
done the selfie move. I think the selfie move is a great
That's the answer.
alternative. I will say.
You'll never guess who I ran into.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's my ex-wife. Fuck, why would you do this?
Hey, look who I'm with.
And then I'm on the other end like half of my face because I don't want you to see me. I'm like, that's really cool. Taking a shit, no shirt on. I take shits with no shirt on.
I see your nipple hair hasn't
and
gotten
hair
any
all
better.
in my ears. Yeah, man.
Hey, listen. Just so
You're not obligated to send the selfie.
just so I say it one more time for our, Timothy. What's up, Timothy Durga? To each their own. He said I've said that 10 times. Listen, we're different. That's what makes the show the show. I agree with the selfie. That's a great. I always call that the backup plan. And I'm not FaceTiming people all the time, by the way. I'm not the abuser of this. I'm not a FaceTime guy. Who do I FaceTime besides like my mother-in-law?
Are you kidding me? I'm talking to a guy that lives for these fucking moments.
No, but FaceTime is something that I don't use enough. My mother-in-law, the whole joke is that Sarah's mom thinks that her and I are a fucking human tripod just walking around the house trying to like follow Emmy and Ben wherever they are. It's like, yo, Cindy, like we got stuff doing. Like she thinks like we're her camera crew.
I'm a human tripod.
I was waiting for one. I was like, who is going to say it first? Which one of you bozos?
I'm a human tripod of one.
Hey, man, I hold back on my dumb jokes.
But
Just so you know.
Sarah's,
I don't.
You know how
Sarah's
many
mom,
rich butthole jokes I wanted to make during that Beaver conversation yesterday? You know how many fucking rich jokes I held in?
Good.
There hasn't been
You're
a
better
butthole.
than that.
There hasn't been a butthole sought after
not.
this much since Rich's in the early 2000s. I had so many fucking butthole references that I held in yesterday.
Rich's butthole smells like bleach.
Yeah,
Yeah, so many things.
you guys, you're getting mature.
I held it in. If you missed the Beaver butthole conversation, that's yesterday's Patreon
By the way,
show.
so
Check
good.
it out.
By the way, who was it? 618 thought we were saying Bieber. So he thought we were talking
Beaver.
about Bieber's
Yeah, Justin
ass.
Bieber's asshole smells like vanilla.
Did you know that? And raspberries.
Beaver asshole.
Bieber ass
You know,
juice.
Sought out after
I
the
did
most
this-
sought out buttholes ever.
I did
Right
this,
after a Beaver's is Rich Davis.
I did this recently. I did it with Nicole the other day. We had a mutual friend, and when I was with Nicole from the morning mashup, her and I did a selfie and sent it to the mutual person that we didn't know.
Enough.
But
Good
I
move.
agree. I'm not randomly FaceTiming people. So,
But you were condoning it.
Yeah, but you could argue that if I'm not the one doing it, then why am I accepting of it? Because I just don't want to be the party pooper because I know why it's happening. I agree. If
I
you
was
and
I was a party pooper, I admit it, but I had
an excuse,
a
Agreed.
legitimate excuse, in my
I'm-
opinion.
If I'm, let's say, in Union, if I was passing through, what's that town I was in between you and Spot? Cranford.
Motherfucker can't remember that.
Because I keep saying Ringwood, but that's where I went to
Ringwood.
see a different friend.
Who lives in Ringwood?
My friend Darcy lives out. It's like the woods, right? You've ever been to Ringwood?
Ringwood is where I used to go for work for Hal.
I didn't know
for
about-
my freelance.
Ringwood
I didn't
is
know about Darcy.
Ringwood is beautiful, but
Ringwood's up
it's
north.
like fucking it took me 2 hours to get there.
Did you like how much time were you in a car this
Put my
weekend?
mask
A
back.
lot. I drove 700 miles. Ringwood.
I don't even drive that much when I go visit my in-laws in upstate New York.
When I was in Cranford, Covino.
Yo, you got honestly, like you're so extreme. Like what you did was beautiful and all.
yeah,
And what I do is
it makes me
definitely weak.
It makes me
I'm not-
value different people differently.
But I feel like it's so extreme on a different level. Like it's almost like to feed your ego or something. It's crazy.
Has nothing to do with ego. It has to do with being around the people that want to be around me and people I care about most. You know?
I don't know, man. You're like extreme though. You're like extreme visit guy. Like if there was a show like a vacation show, it's like extreme visitor, Rich Davis.
But you could say the opposite about you. You haven't seen your parents you haven't seen your parents in you haven't seen your parents in 2 years and they're almost 70. I think that's the opposite. That's terrible.
I admit that's terrible.
That's cruel.
You're not admitting that you're extreme. I admit that. It's
no,
absolutely terrible and I'm in the wrong.
I'm extreme, but that's what I like to do. That's what I like to do. What are you going to try to convince me that what I'm doing is not what I want? It's what I want to do.
You're oddly defensive about it too. I'm just like speculating.
It's what I want to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people have wanted to do a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot
over the past year.
Yeah, but COVID's not even a thought of it. I'm just saying the conversation of seeing people when you're in your hometown. Here's the deal. If I was in Cranford where I went to get Taylor ham, egg, and cheese sandwiches.
You didn't go see my family.
If I happened to bump into, let's say I was at the bagel shop and for some reason I happen to see one of like, I don't know, Gus or your brother. I probably would send the picture, but
Send the picture.
Picture if I was like, oh, let's FaceTime your brother. And you don't answer, you've killed that moment. I get what you're saying. Oh, but that's why if I see, I don't know, let's pick
Well, that's why I bring it up too. I realized I killed the moment.
Perfect. Ryan Hollins.
I felt bad about it.
7-footer, NBA guy. If Ryan Hollins is FaceTiming me, I feel like there's a reason.
Yeah, I'm not answering. Because I
I'm
don't
answering
know
because
what
I'm
that
like,
reason is.
because I'm like, Ryan Hollins is probably with a.
Yeah, but shame on you for your initial thought to be like, let me FaceTime someone that I know doesn't want to be FaceTimed.
Yeah, you're off. You're off to think that I want to be bothered right now.
Well, I'm telling you,
a selfie would
Take
make me happy.
take a selfie.
Take a selfie.
I am
Even
not,
a video.
I
Do
am
a
not-
video.
I am not.
I can watch it at my leisure.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
am
one.
not-
A
And I
video.
use the word leisure.
A video like, hey, what's up, man?
look who I'm
Yo,
with.
that's such a much better move. Ready? Yo, man, I ran into Spot, and we both know Rich. Yo, Rich, what's up,
buddy?
Yo, look, man, yo.
How
Bro.
crazy is this?
Yo, miss you, bro. Miss you, man.
If you really missed him, you
Send.
want to communicate with them. No,
Nah, bro, fucking, because you just like now you're being intrusive.
but you don't want to communicate with people anymore.
You don't see the intrusiveness. That's why I'm dealing with the most social guy
Being
on the planet. So of course he's gonna gaslight me to make me feel like I'm the weird guy.
You know what it's
I'm
like?
the weird
Bachelor
guy.
boy.
It's the equivalent of thinking you're going out to dinner with like your wife, and then you show up and it's a fucking surprise party. It's a completely different mindset. You need to be in a mindset in order to communicate with certain people, and that goes for any sort of friends. Like
Hey,
sometimes
do what you want, man. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying
you have to be in a mindset to communicate with certain people.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying if
Anybody,
if
to be
someone
honest.
if someone's FaceTiming me, I'm assuming there's a reason, and I'll answer it. I'm not the one doing the FaceTiming to someone else, but
I
if
don't like
someone
that game.
FaceTimes me randomly, if all of a sudden our old school pal buddy, let's say, let me go through my phone. Let's take another random and stop. That's a random girl I hooked up with back in the day. I should probably not call her. All right.
Why is she still on your phone?
Dominic, the guy that owns the Poorhouse in Jersey and O'Donohue's, all the bars we used to hang out with. If this old school guy that ran all the bars we used to hang out with in Jersey,
Dominic.
if he FaceTimes me,
He's like, guess where I am?
I am assuming,
Yeah.
I'm assuming if this guy that I haven't seen in a decade, who used to own all the bars that we used to hang out with, FaceTimes me, he's probably in some peculiar like, fucking Rich Davis, and it's probably someone like, let's FaceTime him. And I'll answer for the fun of it.
Send me a picture. Send me a picture.
Yeah, fair enough. Fine.
All right. So I brought up the conversation so that we could have this discussion.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a good one.
I
Because
have a
there's-
solution.
Listen.
I had a story. It was awkward.
If people don't communicate, then where's the world go? If
I
you don't
do
commu-
understand
And then you know
and
what,
accept
too?
the sentiment was very sweet. I love that. I love those moments. There's a better way to handle it.
Here's another thing too. Here's another annoying thing. Another aspect. Think about this.
Everything's annoying to you guys.
Hold on,
You guys
Rich.
you have a weird
let's-
attitude.
Rich, you're going everywhere. Let's say you were visiting our pal Nico.
You think we
again.
have weird attitudes? You're
I'm
coming
go-
from this. Oh, I just saw all my high school
I think
friends.
I'm going to.
and now we're the bad guys.
I think I'm going to see Nico in November. So yes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like next week.
No, I'm
Your
going.
tone is so odd.
So let's say you go see Nico, right?
Yeah.
I haven't talked to Nico in a minute. We
course.
text occasionally.
Of course.
But you get there and like out of nowhere, let's say I don't know you're there, and out of nowhere,
Nico
you're like,
said he's coming here in December.
You're like-
so we don't need to go see him.
you're like, let's FaceTime Spot. And then you FaceTime me, and I'm like, oh, what's up, bro? And then all of a sudden, like, look who I'm with. And Nico's there, and then now it's like, oh, hey, bud. Now I want to have a conversation with Nico, but now it's an awkward setup because you're there, and I have to be like, all right, let's catch up later, bro, when you're not with Rich, or like you're setting up something. So now it's like if I actually wanted to have a conversation, it's even more awkward because now it's like you guys are just chilling on the couch eating pizza. And I'm there like, hey, I want to talk to Nico because I haven't caught up with him.
Okay,
but
then-
now you've set this up, and I'm like,
I get it. I get your personality types, which is why I don't do this to you.
Watch this.
And I won't.
Look at this, guys. I just realized this. Look.
Shut up.
Look at this. Look at this.
Is
No,
there one
that goes over your.
is there one on the other side too?
I don't know. No.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Maybe.
I just realized there was a plastic film over my face mask if you're on tier 1. More reason to subscribe to tier 2, everybody.
No, I don't think so.
Starting tomorrow. There is. Oh, yeah. Look at this.
Oh,
wow. Look at that.
No wonder it looks so cloudy.
Now I wonder if my dad approves of this.
That's
there we
so
go.
much better. I
Yeah,
still
now
can't-
I'm feeling it.
Still can't hear.
That's
Took
so
me,
funny.
how long?
Still can't hear you though.
Took me an hour and a half to figure out that the face shield had a little plastic film on it.
By the way,
Rich
it's so clear. It just looks like you're wearing a blue headband.
It's good. It's fucking hides my
Take off your
forehead.
hat. It looks like you're just wearing like a sweatband.
So, anyway, there's different personality types.
Yeah.
I love these moments. Are you obligated? Discuss it amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
I posed the question. I'm telling you the whole thing was awkward. The end. So, and that's no
Awesome.
knock on my buddy Adam. He's a good dude.
I like Adam.
Now, here's another thing. Since I'm going on my rant now, my rambles.
Let's
I
go,
know we've
Ramble.
talked about this a lot. Like, we've talked about this a lot, or we've referenced it a lot. But I've never seen it to this degree and this level before, ever. Like, it's really something crazy. Like, you have to realize, Rich and I, to have gone on this path, right?
Mm-hmm.
It required a little bit of training. We didn't just hop on the mic and all of a sudden we had a show. That's not how it worked. We had consultants. We thought about it. We sort of had years of trial and error on how to construct a conversation, how to tell a story. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Stories.
A way to throw your thoughts out there in a way that's convincing. I'll never forget. This might be letting you in on too much, but it's between us, guys.
Oh, okay.
I had a consultant named Walter Sabo. Rich knows him. Great guy.
Yeah.
I believe he's a Syracuse man.
He did not wear goggles like Chris Sabo though.
No.
Not a goggle
Walter
wearer.
Sabo was a consultant that took a liking to Rich and I early on in our career, and he would give us advice.
He would do the ultimate power move though. Is that where you're going?
No.
Oh.
I just everything about him was,
You would,
was very contrived and calculated.
No, he is still a great guy. He was the guy where if you went into him with an issue or a question, hey Walter, I got to talk to you about. Oh, hold on, take a seat, sit down. How's your girlfriend? How's your wife? Or he would do an amazing job of realizing if someone was coming to him with a gripe, and he would
Diffuse the scenario.
Not de-escalate. Yeah, he would immediately diffuse any anxiety to the point where when he's done asking you all these personal questions, like, let's say Covino went in there. Yo, I got to tell you something. Walter, can I talk to you a minute? Covino, sit down.
Have a seat.
You're wearing a Yankees hat. Yankees, they've been hot lately, huh? Hey, by the way, how old's your kid now?
It's manipulating the conversation.
And he
what
takes-
he's doing
yeah.
is manipulating the conversation, de-escalating, diffusing your initial gripe.
And then by the time you're done with all that, he's like, now what did you want to talk about? You're like, I don't even remember why I came in here.
Thanks for your time.
But I'll talk to you soon.
I feel much better now. Thanks.
It was. I remember always being like, it's a great managerial tactic. Great de-escalation.
Consultants are paid to
Yeah.
consult, and they're extremely perceptive, and they're good at manipulating these type of scenarios. Body language and mirroring people, and showing that you're interested and engaging. And these are things that Rich and I learned along the way. For some people, it comes very natural. I didn't have to learn all these things. A lot of it was natural, but you're taught these things. And Walter Sabo taught me something early on based on our personality types that I've stuck with because I probably would have done it anyway, but he told me to sort of own it. Hey, here's what I noticed about you. Continue with this. Okay. He said, one thing I've learned in broadcasting, and he gave me some fucking long drawn out example. He's a consultant. He has stories.
Yeah.
he said, man, I wish I could remember who his example was because it would really add to my story. Fuck, I'll remember another time. But he said, I worked with a guy, and even when he was wrong, he was right. No matter what. Don't ever falter.
That's why you're the way you are?
Yeah, he fucking set me down. But I was already that way. He goes, you're a hard-headed guy. Be that guy. Even when you're wrong, you're right. And I'm like, you're right.
He took you behind the veil. Covino just took you. I didn't know why
Walter
Covino.
Sabo fucking was adamant.
But he got in your head to the point where it went from being a strategy to you. Like the strategy you employed.
You said it opposite.
No.
It went from me to being a strategy.
No.
Yes.
I said it right. I think it went from, see, there you go. You think you're right.
No, but you're wrong. I was already that way. I was always that way.
You were that way. He told you to, even when you're wrong, Covino, you're right.
Yep.
So then it even further reinforced.
Want to know the thinking behind it?
It even further reinforced how Covino's right. You know, like, come on.
The thinking's obvious. Again, I'm talking to a professional consultant who has made superstars out of so many household names that you know and love.
Yeah.
Okay? Like a really high-end, respected consultant.
Yeah.
He's one of the best in the business. He loved Rich and I. Was such a cool dude. Gave us so much of his time when we were fucking nobodies.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Now I have all my personality flaws are justified, right?
That's what I'm saying. It seeped into you.
Right. And I'm like, well, fuck, that's me. But you know why?
That's what I just said. I said, what was your...
No, but you said strategy turned into me.
What
I said me turned into strategy.
Your initial instincts turned into a strategy.
Right.
You've been doing that strategy so long that it now reversed it back to your real life where
Now it's just
personal
me.
life,
All
with women, with friendships, with work, with everything.
Then blame Walter.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
What I'm saying is you're bad. Your good radio instinct.
No, say bad.
Hold on, no.
Say my bad.
You're bad.
My bad.
You're
Roll
bad,
with that. I need it.
Your
It's
bad personal
my
instinct.
bad personal instincts.
Which was a great professional instinct.
Bad personal instincts. Okay.
It was a bad personal
important.
instinct.
Right.
Wait, it was a bad personal
But
instinct
we
that was
agree.
a good.
We agree this is shitty behavior, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is your bad personal instinct was a great professional instinct because you're a really great broadcaster, which is why I'm happy I do a show
Thank
with you.
All right.
But what makes you a great broadcaster has seeped so much into your personal life that I think even on a personal level, you're an asshole that never thinks he's wrong.
Thank you. I'm glad you said this.
Like, you can't differentiate.
I'm really glad you said all this, okay?
Okay.
Because again, this goes with my professional storytelling that I've been trained and taught to do. Skills that I've developed.
This is why Covino will never admit he's wrong.
So,
Even Billingsley.
no, I was already that guy. But what Walter Sabo taught us along the way and taught me especially, I'm sure he told Rich things that pertain to his personality. Like, listen, man, you're a really charming, likable guy. Continue doing blank, blank, blank.
It's called strengthening confidence.
There you go. So he strengthened my confidence. And he said, listen, what this is going to do is give you conviction. It gives people a reason to listen. If you don't believe in what you're saying, why would anyone else want to listen? If you're wishy-washy on your opinion, if you're not believing what you're saying, why would anyone else care? Even when you're wrong, you're right. And I'm like, he's right. Yeah. Right? And it all made sense because I'm like, I feel that anyway. And he just justified it. Thank you. Thank you, Walter Sabo. There's a secret between us, guys.
You are so opinionated and never wrong that I've actually had a consultant tell me once, stick to your guns more because Covino is so hard-headed.
Okay. So
it's a good conversation.
I
Is this your best piece of advice? Is this your...
No. I'm so glad you were rolling with it because what did you say? My bad personal instincts.
Your bad person.
My shitty behavior.
Yeah, this is all true.
These things, right? That I made a living out of, and I've crafted and made lemonade out of my dilemmas.
Yeah.
I've made millions on.
Yeah.
No, like I turned this sort of, one would say, negative attribute.
Your terrible
and
habits.
I turned it into something positive, right? That's a wonderful thing. I actually saw a guy, some sort of philosopher, some sort of writer, I don't know, some sort of fucking consultant perhaps, who said that Kobe Bryant, what people don't realize about Kobe Bryant is that he had a lot of dark energy, but he used it in the best way possible against his competition. Like, think about it. How crazy was he about winning, right? And almost like angry. But he used it in the best way possible.
I mean, look at Michael Jordan. Same thing.
It
Michael
was
Jordan.
the same exact example.
Michael Jordan was like, wait, you said good game?
Right. But
I took that personally.
Exactly.
Hey, come on.
This
maniac.
This observer, I don't know who he was, but it was someone on social media was saying he took this dark energy that he had and he used it in the best ways possible.
Darkness.
And, you know, he used his positive energies elsewhere.
Yeah.
I took a bad personal quality and I made it work to my advantage. I gave you reason to listen. I believe in what I'm saying, and I really do. It's not an act. Why is it that the rest of the world has taken all of these, what you said, were bad personal instincts
Yes.
and shitty behavior,
Yes.
and used them in their own personal lives, and they think they come across likable? Because let me tell you something. In my own real regular life, I keep all of these bad personal instincts and shitty behavior to myself. But everybody in today's world thinks they're an expert, thinks that their opinion is right, thinks that their opinion matters, thinks that people want to hear their opinion, and thinks that they need to share that with everybody. Even me, who's been trained, who has these instincts, who's been trained to deliver them on a national broadcast, knowing that it rubs people the wrong way, but it gives people a reason to listen, and that it gives, you know, my opinions some conviction, I keep that shit to myself. But people with nothing to gain, no living to make, no conversation to have, lead with all of my negative attributes.
I think
you got to see how many fucking political experts are there out there? How many vaccine experts are there out there? How many boxing experts? I can't believe all these fucking fighting experts out of the woodworks because they just tuned into a Jake Paul fight. Go fuck yourself. You don't know shit. But
Shinola.
Everyone thinks they're a fucking expert and they speak with this training that I've had for all these years. And it's like, you're a fucking idiot. Shut up and keep your stupid opinions to yourself.
your negative traits.
Yeah.
Your negative qualities.
I don't use them in my personal life, bro. I
Well,
tuck them away.
you try not to.
I don't.
But they seep. They seep.
They might,
in.
but
They
I'm
seep.
at least I have the wherewithal to know. The world, wake the fuck up. You're unlikable. Your opinions suck. And just because you're typing them with conviction on Facebook doesn't convince me. I still think it's a weak opinion. And I think you're an asshole for wanting to share it. And I think you're an asshole for thinking you're right when you're wrong.
Your bad traits.
All my bad traits are what people lead with. And you guys should be embarrassed.
And your bad traits.
And I say you, meaning the collective you. Everybody. Your family members on social media, everybody.
Your bad traits are broadcasting design, but other people just are assholes for no reason.
They're leading with it. Leading with hey man, here's what I'm an expert.
There's
No,
an
you're
outcome.
not. You're not
saying,
an expert.
So what you're saying, your loophole is that there's an outcome. This is your if people ever interpret Steve Covino as an abrasive, he's never wrong.
In real life, I mind my business. In real life, you ever see me fucking like being like, here's what I think about. Fuck that. No, I don't. If I have an opinion that the Yankees suck, I'm doing that for, as you know, a guy who has a responsibility as a quote unquote broadcaster. This is what I do. You guys are regular people living your lives. Why are you so abrasive and unlikable with your shitty, abrasive opinions? No one cares.
Because they need an outlet. People want an outlet. You have an outlet and you make money on it. Other people.
That's my job. You don't see the difference?
No.
There's a difference. In
I
my
don't.
real life, I'm not fucking being abrasive.
Well,
this is my job.
Social media, as Raul just hit us up with, has given everyone the opportunity to think that.
No, it's given everyone an
they're
opportunity
feeling-
to be unlikable. To be unlikable. You're unlikable.
Okay, you're sipping a coffee. I could talk. I think what you're not realizing is that you get your
I'm
outlet.
not realizing?
You get your outlet.
Tell me how to realize.
You get your outlet to give your opinions on the radio. And you've done this all the time. It's a rationale that I've done as well. The same way back in the day, you're like, yo, babe, I was flirting with girls and doing all this because it's part of the job. you have an outlet that people still want. You just get paid for it. So, hey, congratulations. You're lucky. You get paid nicely to have opinions.
I figured it out, and I fucking made a living out of it.
Right.
Yeah. Are they? What is the gain to?
I don't. What do you want me to say then?
Do you know how many fucking people hit
based
me
on this
up?
conversation, I should just say yes, Covino. You're right. And let's move on because I can't even get a word in.
Man, you're oddly sensitive today.
Oddly sensitive. You're going on an Adam Shine type of monologue, and then I try to give you a rebuttal, and you fucking go like again.
Oddly sensitive.
Oddly sensitive.
Oddly sensitive.
Maybe so.
I know what it is too. I'm
What?
so perceptive.
What
Thanks
is
to
it?
Walter Sabo's consulting.
Well, whatever you say is going to
You
be
saw
right.
all these fucking people who worshipped you during this break because they were so happy to see you.
You could say worshipped, or you
When
could
you-
say friends
when
that
you
are like
see-
really good people
No,
and
no,
nice, and
wait,
people that treat me nice.
That's a given.
No, so
But you're implying that we're not.
I mean,
So when people are super stoked to see you because they haven't seen you in years and they're of a different cloth and they're like nice people, like you said.
Yeah.
When you get this type of energy from me and Spot, you're like, I hate these guys compared to my high school pal Bert and Ernie. I'm not Bert and Ernie.
Bert.
Fucking Bart and fucking Buffoon. So that's what's going on.
So because you have a platform, this is from Key. He
Yeah,
said-
Key, I have a platform.
I didn't even read his whole message. Go ahead, go on. I didn't even read his whole message. and
Oddly
you jumped
sensitive.
in. Dude, I mean, when I can't even read a message without you jumping in, what does that say? I said 3 words and you already replied. So you have a platform. No one else could speak with conviction, Covino? How they feel about something?
Everybody should speak with conviction. Are you not perceptive enough to see the shitty opinions all over social media that people feel the need to share? You don't is this guy so oblivious that he doesn't see and feel the energy of everyone thinking that they know the answer to everything? Your buddy who doesn't know jack diddly squat is all of a sudden a political expert. He's a vaccine expert. He's a fucking fight expert. This guy never watched fighting ever. Not you. This guy I'm making up, and he's telling me about boxing. You're the expert because you watched one Jake Paul fight. Go fuck yourself. It's not about. I'm glad that everyone has a platform. I don't think everyone's aware of how they're coming across like a fucking know-it-all, an unlikable know-it-all. I get paid to be an unlikable know-it-all, and I hope you like me for it. I don't do this in my real life. I do not, and I would not. There's something in the water where everybody thinks they're an expert. They're not. They're not. Just because they fucking saw some facts on TikTok, that's their research that they need to preach about. You're not an expert. You're a nobody from Nowhereville. And I see a lot of people coming at me. Dude, you know what really inspired this too? All these people coming at me about the fighting scores.
Yeah.
Telling me that Tyron Woodley won the fight. I'm like, you're a fucking imbecile. Like, you're an imbecile. You're an expert. This is the first fight you ever watched, most likely. But you're going to tell me because you're the expert. So go ahead, tell me. Tell me how I don't know anything about it. You know how many people reach out to me to tell me that I don't know anything about boxing? And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. You mean the one thing I might know something about? The one thing that I grew up watching and knowing, you tell me how I don't know anything. Go ahead. I'll sit here and listen. Okay. Because you're the expert? I don't think so. And that is a little microcosm of everything that is happening in this world. And if you're like I am Key and you're not perceptive of this, you need to open your eyes. I'm not saying people shouldn't have conviction, but they're having conviction in things that they know nothing about. That's the difference. The end. It's very odd. It's very odd behavior, and we're just growing to be accepting of it.
I don't think it's new behavior. I think it's just
It's
now,
next level. It's crazy because every social issue that seems to be the headline, everyone's an expert in. Everyone has an expert exit strategy on Afghanistan. Like, oh, really? Then why do you do what you do? You should have fucking been a military guy. Everybody has the answers.
Mercer saying that you seem very protective of your job of being opinionated.
No,
Like-
I'm still going to be doing my job. It's an unlikable. Hold on, I'm quoting Rich.
Well, you're quoting me what I said about you.
bad personal instincts, shitty behavior. I do this for my career. People are leading with my bad qualities in real life. You don't see the issue? It's not being protective of my job. I get paid to do this. They do not. What's the gain there? I wouldn't do that at all. It makes people not like you. Everyone's an expert. And if you don't see that, then you're just being a contrarian.
Texas Steve says, what makes someone a true expert? A degree, personal experience,
all those things.
Hearsay. What does?
All of those things. Yes. Yeah. All of those things. Yes, some people are 100% more knowledgeable in certain areas than others. And I know when to take a back seat. Rich, if you're telling me about the Maldives, I'm not going to fucking try to jump in like I know when you've been there. You would be more knowledgeable in that area.
Sharing an opinion doesn't mean you're an expert. That's from Andrew. I think people
are people being oblivious to the fucking truth, Rich?
People often lead with a condescending tone when they're sharing opinions, though. I'm guilty of that for sure. That's Andrew. Let's see. So, Covino, this is from 325 saying, Covino, so you could give your shitty opinion because you're on the radio? Come on, man.
It's what I get paid to do. Yes. Yeah. The answer, I'm sorry to break the news to you. Yes. That's what I'm here to do. The answer to your question is, let me respond. Where is he? 325?
Yeah.
Because you feel the need to like read all that stuff. The answer is simply, and you should back it up instead of posing it that way. Hold on. Capital Y, capital E, capital S.
Send.
Yes. Because that is what I'm here to do. Yes.
So,
give you reason to think that my opinion is right. That's why I'm here. That's why I do radio.
I think it's
otherwise there's no reason to listen.
I think it's an ever-changing world of people's opinions and thoughts because of social media. Like you look at a guy like Hannity or a guy like Anderson Cooper. These guys give their opinion. Well, I mean, it's not supposed to be opinions, but they give their opinions on the news, and people love them or hate them for their opinions.
Guess what, Rich?
But now, everyone, your Uncle Hank, you're the guy in the mailroom at work, the bus driver, the truck driver, the doctor, the lawyer, every single person is an expert or gives opinions on things that maybe they don't necessarily know a lot about. But it goes back to the old meme, right? Of like everyone's an expert. When someone goes, I'm going to do some more research on the vaccine, and someone's like, oh yeah, because the scientist must have missed something I could find on YouTube.
I mean, scientists do miss things, right?
But you're going to find that you're going to find on YouTube.
Not that you're going to find on YouTube, but I'm so glad you said that. Now, Sean Hannity, right?
Yeah.
He gets paid to do what?
To stir the pot.
Yeah.
And
have an opinion.
And get the conservative folks riled up and you know.
But you have to give him credit. Yeah. He is knowledgeable.
He's good at what he does.
He knows how to stir the pot, but he is knowledgeable. He's been doing this. It's what he does, right? Like every day. While you're fucking doing whatever you do, he's doing this. That's what he does. But Sean Hannity is also very polarizing. It's why you tune in, right? It makes you like him. It makes you not like him. Do you want to feel that way about Uncle Hank?
Today, everybody has an opinion.
Yes.
Whether they know the subject or not.
Yes.
Just take into consideration their knowledge base. That's Kay Riley.
Kay Riley, how about they take in consideration that their opinion is coming from a shitty place? I'm not going to give you my opinion on shit I don't know about. I'm just not. Unless, of course, you're like really asking me, right? I'm not saying I'm not participating in a conversation, but I'm not going to like be leading. Let me tell you what I think when I don't know. But that's the way of the world. And if you're going to deny that, then you're fucking living in another reality. Yeah. Everyone thinks they're an expert.
Everyone's has a quote platform now, because if they post on any social media, this is from Andrew Sims, posting on social media is their platform. So back in the day, it was, hey, Rush Limbaugh or this guy or that talk show host, Mike and the Mad Dog, they had an opinion and no one else really had a loud voice because the platform was radio or television. Ta-da, that's it. Now, YouTube, streaming,
Yeah, but
Twitch,
that's not-
Patreon, SiriusXM, FM, AM, YouTube, live streaming. And you could put your opinion out there. It's like music, right? It used to be you need a record label to put out your song. You need to get signed by a label. Now, if your music's good enough and you put it up on YouTube, you could become a star on your own. You could become
Social
a
media's
star
been
on
out.
TikTok.
I'm not denying it's a valid point and a good point, but social media has been around for a long time. I'm not hating the game. You know, the platform is great. I'm hating the player. You're abusing the platform. It's now that everyone thinks they're an expert. They speak as if they know. They speak as if it's fact because they think it. And it makes people, in general, unlikable because everyone thinks they're an expert. And that's why we see all this fighting on social media. I'm right. No, you're not. That's your opinion. No, but I'm right. No, that's your opinion. If you don't see the truth that I'm telling you right now, then you don't speak the language of facts. And that's what I'm speaking.
I think every time someone posts something on social media, they should have to put in parentheses at the bottom, very old school. Remember back in the day when you would have to do like a bibliography or a works cited sheet? I think you should have to give your credentials. Like, yo, I think what they did in Afghanistan, it's like, all right. Then at the end, you need to be like, regular guy that, works at a marketing firm. Because that would differentiate if it was like, here's what I think about Afghanistan. Joe Smith served 2 tours in Afghanistan. I think maybe you're saying credentials might, you should have to sign all your opinions with credentials?
It's just the way you present your opinions. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, but it doesn't make it fact.
Like,
I gave you all of my backstory to explain that this came with training to say, even though you're wrong, you're right.
Well, this is big.
These people are not even admitting that they're it's just their opinion and that they could be wrong.
This is big in the finance world right now because what'll happen is there'll be someone that became a day trader in the last year or so, right?
You mean expert day trader?
Yeah, no. So they'll be like, fucking rocket ship emojis to the moon and, little Doge dogs with fucking arrows. And, the guy made a couple bucks in the first quarter of this year because everything was going up. He invested $2,000 in Dogecoin and now he thinks he's Warren Buffett. Yeah. That guy, when he puts his opinion out there, he should have to say, been investing for 1 year, where some guy might come in and say, yeah, I've been like day trading and I've seen the highs and lows of this world for the last 26 years. There's a big difference of opinions, but to say that people can't have that opinion, you just need to.
Well, hold on.
You're doing a bad job.
No one ever said that. That's you putting words in my mouth. I never said you can't have an opinion ever. Go back. I said no one wants to hear your shitty opinion. I didn't say you can't have one ever, not once. I even explained that I'm grateful that there's a platform for people to express their opinion, but just because it's your opinion doesn't make it fact. Because you're not an expert. The end. It's really just, it's bizarre behavior that we're condoning. You're not Sean Hannity. You're not. Stop trying to be Sean Hannity. And you can say, what about me? I do this. I know it's Spot's fucking living room right now. This is what I do.
Just wait until tomorrow. Then you'll actually be credible.
Just wait until I'm in my studio and it all makes sense.
Confucius say, opinions like asshole, everyone has one. Sometimes they
I
stink.
changed that. You want to know my new one?
Men who go to bed.
Podcasts are like buttholes and opinions. Everyone has one.
When most of them stink.
And most of them stink. Podcasts are like buttholes. Everyone has them. Most of them smell like ass.
Also, men who go to bed with itchy ass.
Some smell like vanilla and raspberry.
That's how ours smells.
It's like there's got to be a level of humbleness that people approach real life with.
Yeah, James,
right?
Jim and Charlotte just said it's simple. Covino, just consider the source. It could be summed up with that. Like, consider the source. Like, but a lot of people don't consider the source.
What is the source, though?
Should be considerate of who they are.
What is the source?
In my opinion.
I feel like, and I saw someone say this, I feel like everyone's just regurgitating something else they heard.
Yes. Yes. And it's so obvious.
Where
it's
does
like,
the original thought come from? That's what
dude,
I wonder.
It's like your buddy who never talked about this ever, and you know everything about your buddy, but all of a sudden he's the expert because he heard it from someone else.
I don't know anyone like that.
Yeah. You saying I'm like that?
I didn't say that. Did I say that?
I'll be right back. I'm going to use the bathroom. Tell me more.
Did I say anything?
Here's what I don't like about this conversation is Rich knows exactly what I'm talking about. Because he's guilty. But he's pretending that, what do you mean all these experts? And I'm like, I'm the only jerk off. This is everybody, guys. And he knows it, you know it, I know it. Everybody's a fucking expert. And it's why social media is a horrible place. Because everyone's arguing as if they know. Whether it be, like I said, politics, vaccines, exit strategies, investing, boxing, whatever it is, I know I'm the expert. Like, yo, chill out. It's really fucking abrasive. And that's coming from an abrasive guy who doesn't even want to play your fucking reindeer games.
Big spot.
Spot, at least back me up on, like, it's pretty evident that everyone thinks they're an expert.
Everyone thinks they're an expert.
I'm not breaking the glass on
Like,
that.
you know me. I love to pretend like I know. Not pretend. I do know a lot. But there are certain things that I'll just, back away from because I know I don't know them.
He's the fitness expert now.
Why? Because I did something that I've done for a while. If people ask me questions, but I'm not going around preaching. Sometimes I do.
In real life.
In real life.
Right.
On the show, sometimes I sass you guys.
Because you lead with the level of humbleness, right?
Of course.
People don't do that. But if we're going to pretend that everyone's not saying this, then like everybody knows that the underlying sentiment is everyone's an expert. Everyone's an expert. Okay, so the end. That's it. Here it is. I'll scratch it off. Everyone is an expert. Next level, the end. It's not anything we didn't know, but I really wanted to explore that. Like this, it's really weird behavior.
Let's see. Confucius says, wise man never plays leapfrog with a unicorn.
Or the wise man does play leapfrog with a unicorn.
Alex Efforts. Why do I bail? I went to the bathroom. I had to pee. They're called armchair experts. It's been for years and years. They're more visible. That's all. I mean, people. It's like
shout out to Dak Shepard.
For instance, like sports talk radio. There's always been people that are know-it-alls. There's always been fans, and there's always been, for generations, there's been fans that think they know more than the GM. You don't think the GM's like, yo, I took part in the trade deadline. I knew it was available. I made a decision. Meanwhile, they got fans saying, can you believe they didn't do this, or they didn't do that, or they didn't do that? I mean, come on. It's been around forever. It's so vocal now because you spend your days scrolling. And when you spend your days scrolling, like everyone does, instead of doing something productive, because we're all guilty, you end up seeing like, what is this guy saying about the vaccine? What is this guy saying about Afghanistan? What is this guy saying about schools? What is this guy saying about the stock market? What is this guy saying about
whatever? It's like,
yeah, everyone. I mean, listen.
It's crazy next level.
It's because of social media. Everything you're saying is not new. It's almost like
it is.
It's like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there, now everyone's there. So it's like, yeah, people have been screaming from the mountaintops for years. It's just they didn't have a megaphone. Now they have a megaphone.
They have a comment section. I'm here for the comment section.
Yeah, but it's laughable, dude. It's one thing to have an opinion on the Jets starting offensive line.
Yeah, but
and another to have the expert knowledge on exit strategy of the U.S. military.
Yeah. Like, by the way, Daniel Tiger said it best. When you have to go potty, stop and go right away. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Crystal. That's what I was doing. Yeah, everyone thinks they're an expert.
That's not new. I mean, that's not news. So let's not pretend like, what do you mean? Everyone has an opinion. Like, no, come on. It's next level.
Everyone has an opinion, but everyone presents their opinion as if they are Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Presenting their butthole.
All right, well, anyway, I want to move on. So if you want to bring something up, I'll bring up something funny.
Everyone's face down, ass up, presenting their opinions.
Let's move on. Let's move on. We've talked about this enough.
All right. I want to talk about rewarding people. Because I have an interesting thought.
Like Pavlov?
Yeah. Sort of like Pavlov's spot. Explain.
Do I have to?
He had a dog.
Well, I mean, maybe spot because
people
is everyone.
People are stupid.
Are people really that stupid?
People are really stupid.
I like to think.
Like
I don't want to insult the people that watch and listen, but all right, Pavlov. He trained dogs to ring a bell when they got food, and you condition and train people, right? Reward.
But what was the ultimate experience or ultimate goal of that?
To the ultimate goal of Pavlov's experiment?
The Pavlovian response. What's the ultimate? You only went through half the experiment, so maybe you do need to. Maybe I do need to explain.
Please do, Spot.
He's the expert.
You're the expert.
The whole point is that it was his dog.
Yeah.
And it involved, I believe, meat powder. And he would ring a bell and then give his dog some meat powder.
So then when the dog heard a bell.
So then moving forward, then the test was he would ring the bell, not give the meat powder, but the dog would equally salivate because he associated the bell with the meat powder, not the actual meat powder.
It's like when you see hot streaks, you get a little prejudice going on.
Right.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then you're let down when you don't really nothing happens.
When a girl puts her hair in a ponytail, you're like,
Oh.
I love those videos where the girls do that in front of their man, and then the guys are like, babe.
That's a great
And then she
TikTok
just,
video.
like, starts,
a great TikTok video in the world of social media for every fucking jerk off with an annoying opinion. I do love those videos where the girl goes to put her hair in a ponytail and then she kneels down in front of her guy, and the guy's like, and she's like grabbing the remote under the couch.
Pavlov's dog. Guys, I'm glad you explained that, Spot, because I always thought his dog was Ray Ray. I thought it was his boy, Pavlov's dog. I thought it was Jason Brown. That's my dog.
I'll give you a chuckle.
I thought it was Daniel Javier Fitz.
I always thought Pavlov's dog was his homie.
I thought it was El Cucuy. That's my dog. What's up, dog?
So, Pavlov, reward.
Pavlov's dog. His name was Ray Ray.
Now,
I think that shit's funny.
in life, we are rewarded for
You need a bell.
good behavior. Yeah. What if Spot was been conditioning you to do something bizarre over all these years?
No, I'm not a bell ding. I'm just going to hit.
Bing! Every time you hear a bing, you're like, oh, you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, like if every time I went like, and then I smacked you across the face, and then the next time I went like this, but I didn't smack you, you'd probably like feel something.
Yeah.
You cower in fear.
You get rewarded in life when you do good things.
And when you capture criminals and find missing animals.
So,
Or when you got a hot tip that leads to an arrest.
Okay. Or when you do something really dumb and it gets millions of views.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what gets rewarded these days.
So, at work, aren't you conditioned to think, if I do good work, I will get a raise?
No.
No?
No.
No. Okay.
I mean, the overall general sentiment is based
No.
on our conditioning. You're supposed to think that. I'll
Thank
play
you.
along.
Thank you.
But Spot's
yes.
making a point, but I'll go with
Sorry.
you.
I'm sorry, what?
That's fine.
I've been conditioned the other way.
So you've been conditioned that we as humans, like if you do a good job at work, you will get a promotion or you will get more money. That's the incentive people have to do good work. What people do good work or they try to put in the extra hours. Put in the extra hours. Why? Put in the extra hours. They'll notice and you'll get a bump up or
We're not going to give
dental
you
benefits.
We're not going to give you a raise, but we're going to give you this paper that might go up in value or it might not. That's on you.
But overall, Rich is, I get what
I
you're
know.
saying.
I get it. I get what he's saying.
go ahead.
Sorry.
So
Sorry
we're
to derail
conditioned.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
In a relationship, if you treat your significant other nicely, if you buy your wife some flowers or something nice, or you treat her wonderfully, or you do something nice, you're probably going to get some booty.
That's positive reinforcement.
So
right?
positive reinforcement is sort of how life works, right? With relationships, with jobs, with everything, really. If you treat people nice, they're going to want to be around you. If you don't treat people nice, they're not going to want to be around you. If you make a lot of money and you make a lot of sales, you're going to get a big commission. So you're motivated to work. You're motivated to work and treat people nice based on reward. We've known it since we were little, right?
So get a gold star. It all started with that.
Yeah, it all started with the gold star or the scratch and sniff sticker. Hey, if you get a 90 or higher on your spelling test, you get a little cotton candy.
Oh, you did good. You did a good job at the dentist. You got to go in that little treasure chest.
Little loot box.
Yeah.
The little loot bag.
Loot box.
So
when you sat there like a good boy getting a haircut, you got a balloon
why
or a lollipop.
why do they tell you not to do this little reward game with your kids? Because it's like they're like, oh, don't do that.
Is that new?
No, I'm saying like yesterday on the plane, Emmy was really good. Like she was, Ben was squirmy. Emmy got a little squirmy for a minute because it's a 6 hour and 20-minute flight yesterday. It was a long, headwinds. Like it was a fucking long flight. And we flew late to the point where landing here at 10 o'clock meant, for them, it felt like it was 1 a.m. because we were coming from the East Coast.
Did you get Ben the exit row so we had extra legroom?
Yeah. Beast boy. But I said to Emmy, I go, Emmy, you were so good. And you're being so good. When we get back to California, let's go to the store tomorrow and you can pick out any toy you want. And Sarah looked at me like, oh, so you're doing that? And I'm like, well, I guess parents are discouraged from doing that. Like, if you're good, you get this. If you're good, you do this. But in my mind,
the whole point of like Santa Claus and Christmas?
Yeah, but my whole thought is we're conditioned in every aspect of life that performance and behavior gets rewarded or punished. So if your kid is fucking good on a 6-hour flight, I don't think it's crazy to say, we're going to go get you a toy tomorrow.
Positive reinforcement.
I mean, but I almost feel like that's something parents and people would say, oh, don't do that. But don't you feel like that would make sense? That's how life is. Aren't you just conditioning them for life?
Yeah, well, what's the right answer then?
No, but like they say, don't play those games with your kids. Like, don't.
I can see not rewarding negative behavior, which I have a problem with because you always want to still do nice things for your kid, right? It hurts you to not take your kid to get ice cream, but why would you reward them when they just back talked you, right? I have a problem with that because I want to get my kid ice cream. Yeah. But did she deserve it today? Probably not.
A lot of times when
you don't reward negative behavior, and I have an issue with that.
A lot of times, but it's like because it's almost no, you know what it is because it's bribery.
Why can't you?
No, some people would say it's sort of like bribery, like be good and you'll get this. But I'm like, isn't that everything in life?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, what's the answer then?
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying there's no answer. I think that is the answer. I'm fine with it. But I think.
But then what's? I hate you said Sarah. So then what's her solution? Or how does she?
Conditioning happens all the time through TV work, social media, church, government. We're conditioned this way to be like, if you do this, this is what happens.
So then when do you buy her the toy?
No, today I want to go get her
no,
toy.
But I'm saying what's if Sarah looked at you sideways?
Occasions.
Okay.
Like
birthdays, things like that.
But I'm saying that is the ultimate that's like the ultimate in bribery though. Then what would bribery be? Isn't that bribery?
Bribery, or you're just conditioning your kid to behave. You could manipulate the scenario by saying it's bribery. I don't like that. Or you could say that, I'm just trying to fucking let my kid know that I appreciate their good behavior.
Jackie would say it's external versus internal motivation. You want them to do the right thing because it's the right thing, not just because there's a reward.
Okay.
But reward and punishments are all earned. That's from Sam. And I'm not saying parents agree, more on one side than the other, but a lot of times it's like, hey, if you finish your dinner, you'll get dessert, or if you do this, we'll get you a toy. Listen, if you're really well behaved, you'll do this. A lot of people think that's, you're bribing your kids. They should be good just because you want them to be good. But I feel like rewards with toys or presents or stuff like that makes sense because that's how you're conditioned as an adult. If you're good to your girl, you're going to have a good time.
I think
if you're good at work,
sometimes.
You might get that bonus at work if you're good at work. So
I see both sides. I'm not going to lie. I see the flip side, what Sarah's thinking, and whoever commented over there.
Praise is a reward without being materialistic.
Praise is a great reward,
I'm a parent of a 7 and 10-year-old, and we always reward good behavior.
Yeah, like I think that there's.
It shouldn't be the only method, but to pull out a bribe here and there, I say go for it. That's from Andrew.
Yeah, I don't see how it's such a bad thing. I think it becomes a bad thing when you're rewarding negative behavior. And again, I'm totally guilty of it.
Heather's saying it's bribery when you hold the reward over their head.
Yes.
Where it's like if I said, Emmy.
I'm reading something.
Emmy, if you're good on this flight. Yeah, like it's before and after, is it, Scott?
You have to say, it says, like I'm reading an article here.
Yeah.
Give them the opportunity to do something that warrants praise. Don't preclude it by saying, hey, if X, then Y.
It's like the asshole that tells the waiter, yo, if you like,
Right.
I'm going to give you a big tip. If you fuck up, I'm going to take it away. Like that asshole, that jerk off.
Yeah.
No, but that would be like telling your kid, like, I'm going to get you a new toy unless you're bad.
Right.
Like, give your kid the chance to be like, listen, if you listen to mommy and daddy and you so you don't say if you listen to mommy and daddy, just let them be, and
You
then
say-
be caught like.
You
I
say,
actually
like,
do the. Want to know what I do?
I didn't do that. I didn't tell Emmy, but after the flight, we were walking to baggage, and I was carrying her, and I was like, Emmy, you were really such a great kid on the flight. You know, you were so good, and you listened to mommy and daddy. Tomorrow, we're gonna go get a toy because you were such a great kid.
That's okay.
That's if I held it over her head, if she was crying on the plane, I was like, "You're not gonna get a toy now, kid."
If you said before the flight, Emmy, if you don't make a peep the whole flight home, you're gonna get something. That's bad. But after the fact, rewarding her for doing it is good. Okay.
I try to do
Positive
this.
reinforcement is good.
I don't know if it's a right or wrong move, but I often do this, and it goes along with what you're saying, Rich. But I do it slightly opposite. A lot of times, like I'll buy something nice. Let's say you bought the toy for Emmy.
Yeah.
You then want to explain to her why you gave her the toy.
Ah.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
got you this.
I'll get like Melody, let's say new clothes, right? I only got you this, Melody, because you're doing great in school, and I want you to know that's why.
I want you to know you're being rewarded for such and such behavior
Right.
or your
Like,
actions. Yeah.
So I pull slightly the opposite. I mean, not all the time, but it does work out that way sometimes because you're just doing nice things, and you don't want them to think that you're always going to do just nice things. So you're like, well, this is the reason why I'm doing it, just so you know. So yeah, it's always tricky, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
Raising kids is tough.
Yeah, there is that line of like Spot said, it's how you position it. But I guess that's sort of goes along the lines of work and relationships too.
Yeah,
you
and
could apply what Spot said to all those scenarios. If you held something over someone's head, like Johnson, if you do this, if you do well at this sales conference, you're gonna get a raise. If you fuck it up, you're in trouble. Like no one wants that. No one wants anything held over their head.
Link rewards to behavior. There's some good there's a good article about you should really focus on positive reinforcement and praise over materialistic items. And there's obviously ways to do it. Clapping and cheering, giving a high five, giving a hug or pat on the back, giving a thumbs up, offering a special activity, your time. Let's say, hey, we'll play a game.
Mercer's saying even the armed forces, they give medals for people that go above and beyond the call of duty. So if you go above and beyond,
I went above and beyond on Call of Duty.
If you go above and beyond as a kid, as an employee, as a spouse, if you go above and beyond.
I just go above and beyond duty when it comes to duty.
Number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got no medals for that.
I wonder if I could condition both of you.
Of course.
Pick a sound effect and let me.
I'm sure our ladies do it to us all the time. Like, because they're crafty. And they're just our type.
Bribery is a criminal act.
Yeah, it would be the equivalent of, let's say you decide to do the dishes on your own, right? And your woman, as a result, is like, oh my God, you did the dishes? Let me S your D. But if she was like, I'll S your D if you do the dishes, that's bad. Because now you're associating having to do the dishes with.
Yeah, it's all the order. All right. Well, I just think thought I'd bring that up.
I'll piggyback one of my thoughts and stories based on this. So you talked about Emmy's positive behavior and rewarding positive behavior. Let me tell you some negative behavior that I've witnessed dealing with a preteen. And it's pretty funny because I don't ever want to reward this shit. But then that's the tough part. You want to fulfill your needs to be a nice parent.
Yeah.
So but I also wanted ice cream. Now
I
I can't have ice cream because you don't deserve it.
I wanted ice cream so bad, and now I have to pretend that you're.
So now I'm going to buy you ice cream, but then remind you I only got this because you did good in school. So I got to find the reason.
Yeah.
That's very confusing.
Like Greg is saying, he rewards the hell out of his son for good grades because he finds that to be important. So good grades in his household equal reward.
Makes you feel good as a parent to reward your kid. It just does, and it's hard not to, but you got to try your best to teach these lessons. It's not easy. I noticed something, and it's either like the weakest fucking move, or it's like something that my kid's not even aware that she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might be a little mix of both, but I don't like it at all. I need to nip it in the bud, and I want to pull one of these manipulation tactics that you were describing here to stop it. Like, you're not getting any fucking nothing. if you keep that up. Yo, this shit is so annoying. So, a lot of times, one of life's curses that no one really tells you about is that when you have a child, and let's say you split up with the mom, a lot of times the child may take on a lot of the personality traits of the person you didn't get along with.
Yeah, so
you
have a mini me of the person you divorced.
Yeah, like that's fucking crazy on all sorts of levels, and I deal a lot with that. I have a little girl. She's going to pick up a lot of traits of her mom. I'm just hoping that she picks up a lot of the good ones. I'm not saying that I only had good traits. I had bad traits too. And I hope my kid picks up a lot of my good traits, not the bad ones, right? Mm-hmm. But when you're dealing with a little mini version of shit that didn't work out in your previous relationship, it's like, it's a mind fuck, man. You're like,
do her
God,
a favor.
Yeah.
Make sure she doesn't think that she's always right, even if she's wrong.
Yeah, I don't want her to be like her dad.
Don't-
in that
don't,
aspect.
like,
I want her to be
don't
like her dad with all the good things.
Teach her
right?
that. Thanks.
Yeah, but so you can imagine, like, read between the lines, guys. The scenarios I'm in often when I'm like, ooh, I see her going down the same path, personality path. I saw her mom do this stuff. I don't like that. Fuck, how do I combat that? That's a whole other fucking issue that no one ever warns you about or teaches you about. And it's like, I failed in dealing with this type of person in my last relationship. So now, how do I succeed in like this scenario all over again?
It's almost like here's a mold
Yeah.
of what I know will grow up to be something I don't like.
That's so hard to navigate, So it's like, at least I'm there to provide a balance. I'm not saying she shouldn't be this way or that, but I'm hoping that my balance makes it different, right?
Melody, I want to be able to love half of you.
Yeah, like it's just a weird.
Just
weird
don't
thing,
be a
right?
whole of.
Like, think about that. It's just math, right? You're in a relationship, you love that person, but it didn't work out because of certain things that make them them.
Mm-hmm.
And those qualities may be good for other people, but they didn't work with you, right?
Yeah, for
chemistry.
Sure. Yeah, no doubt.
The product of that relationship is going to be a lot of both of you. And how are you going to mesh with that chemistry of the person that didn't work with you? It's not anything more than chemistry sometimes. Like, oh, fuck, like my personality type isn't working again. Deja vu, right? When I'm getting in these little debates with my kid, just to provide a balance, right? She's going to be who she is, but I want her to have a balance. Mm-hmm. I often see myself debating the same type of person, right? And it's a fucking mind trip. We established this. But then, let's see. You pretend to be me, and you're telling me that I need to do my homework when the teacher says or something, okay? Hold on. Rich is me, and
Covino.
I'm Melody.
Okay.
And this is what Melody does to me. I don't know if she's pulling a tactic. I don't know if she's aware of it, but I'm not going to reward it if I see it anymore. It's wild.
I'm going to be you.
You're me, ready? And you're telling me, I'm Melody, that I got to do my homework and it's just all about my homework. Ready?
I'm you?
Yeah, you're me.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're me.
Oh,
and I'm Melody, so watch me. I'm Melody, ready?
I fucking cut my own hair. I don't know how I like this. Oh, my goodness.
Slower. You pet your hair down in the back.
Oh, my
Slower.
goodness. Oh, I got
You got to really look at it, though.
Oh, my hair. Hold on one second.
And you got to like purse your lips, like
Yo,
duck lips.
look at this ass on TikTok. Yo, hold on. At Michael K. Yo, fucking good one, Michael
Write a
K.
poem.
Go
Write a-
Yanks. Hashtag go Yanks.
Write a poem from Michael K.
You just got way cooler in like the past 15 seconds. I like
Stanton hitting bombs. And Rizzo. Hold on one second. Melody, are you doing your homework by the time your teacher says to?
Yeah, I'm probably going to do it later.
Yeah, but like, when does it due?
Now I often stop and say, all right, look, I'm not trying to be preachy. Dad talk, right? But I'm being
Not
real
trying
firm.
to be preachy.
Real firm. Ready?
Dad talk,
Dad
Melody.
talk. It's
Right,
on.
Ready?
Wait,
Now,
what do I
here's
tell
where,
her? What do I tell
Here's
her?
where.
Oh,
ready?
that's his conditioning.
Melody's like on TikTok, right?
Wait,
preteen. I'm not
he's
calling her
dad
out. I
talk
think
mode
this is
now.
funny, but like, whoa, this has to stop. So ready? Now I'm gonna give you like a little subtle eye roll, like I'm busy, right? But go ahead now go ahead, get into it.
When are you gonna do your homework? When are you She fucking starts mouthing the. Are you gonna do your homework? So when are you gonna do? Are you doing your homework? I can't even.
Bro, I don't know if Melody is thinking one step ahead of me and she's trying to finish my sentence? Or is she mimicking and mocking, mouthing my words to bother me? And I'm like, whatever you're doing. And she's like, what? I'm like, whatever you're doing. Because again, I'm seeing signs of like, not that her mom did this, but I'm seeing signs.
Laura
right?
is saying
her
her
mom
daughter.
didn't do this.
Her daughter
is this a thing?
95% her ex-husband, and she hates it.
Whatever.
Okay. No. But is
You know
this like
what'll-
a little kid thing where like they saw this on TikTok and they're like, I'm going to troll my parents? Or like,
You know what'll close
it
that
needs to
mouth real
stop.
quick? A pop in it.
You can't do that. She's fucking 11 years old. Like I'm not going to do that. Can't do that. Right? So, and
It'll
plus,
sting. It's like a
again,
little
this
sting.
is the, when you're a co-parent, you have no fucking legs to stand on because they'll run and tell their mom or like, it's a nightmare. No one talks about these things. Nightmare. So you do your best. Now, I find this to be entertaining and funny, but when you're in that heated moment, yo, bro, yeah. You're like, are you trying to finish my sentence? Yeah. Hey, listen, Melody, no, you stop. Honestly, stop. You can't, you keep acting like, yeah, dude. Yo, I got to tell you, and I feel like she's so in the emotional moment sometimes because it gets heated. Like, does she realize she's doing this? Yeah. Dude, it's so aggravating. It's the most aggravating shit ever. You're like, yo, fuck you. You trying to finish my sentence or are you mocking me right now? I don't like it. Yo, it's really fucked up. And I think she's trying to like mock me. And as a parent, like you have no tolerance for that. You're still the parent, right? So, hey, stop that. Listen, if you don't stop that, I'm going to call. Oh, so you're trying to finish my sentence. See, I don't know. So in other words, if you're not watching this video, if you're not watching on tier 2, she's mouthing where my words are going as I'm reprimanding or as I'm trying to teach. You know, I'm just trying to teach. I'm trying to be a parent. I'm trying to give you another side to see things. Look, I'm not trying to
That would put me in rage mode.
Yeah. Listen, ready? Listen, Melody, I'm not trying to bother you right now. I know you're busy and I know you're in control of your own schedule and you got it. But what I'm telling you is that you got to make your homework a priority. Get it out of the way first. And she's already mouthing, get it out of the way first before I even say it. And I got to tell you, as a man boy myself, like my levels of frustration start coming out. And I'm like, now she's like, you know, because he or she who angers you controls you. And I'm like, what you're doing now is making me more fucking angry and it needs to stop.
Not to be rude, but
Yeah.
the suggestions people are giving don't work in a co-parenting situation because, no offense, Covino has less power because in a co-parenting situation like this, it ends up
pretend
like
I try, but
take her phone away and she will stop finishing your sentences. Yeah, takes her phone away, then all of a sudden she's like, Dad, I don't want to come see you anymore.
And then like mom, how am I supposed to communicate? You know, take the phone away. It's like it's impossible.
My 9-year-old does this and he loses electronics. Yeah, I think the biggest problem you have is that your inability to really.
Now I'm going to discipline you, reprimand you. You go to your room and cause a scene. I live in a townhouse, right?
Yeah.
You could scream at the top of your lungs, which is never a fun or good look, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like you said, I'm going to do all this, and then you act like you don't want to come and be with me and see me and live by my rules. Live by your rules. Oh my God, guys. I'm not here to, again, expose my kid. I think she's great and she has a lot of great qualities. I bring this up to be relatable because she's a preteen and I really don't know where that came from. Like, I don't know where her mom never did that to me, just to make this clear. I don't know where this behavior or that little tactic, where that happened, or is it a nervous tick? I don't know what it is.
It's not a nervous tick. She's mocking you.
I don't know.
And I think the funny part is,
I don't know.
can
It's
give you
not,
all-
it's not done in this way of a nanny poof kind of thing. It's done in like a really subtle way that bothers me. I'm not going to lie. Like, I really don't know. Let me be really honest here. I really don't know if it's like a tick, like a defensive tick, if she's trying to finish my sentence, or if she's really mocking me. I don't know.
Mocking you.
I don't know.
she's mocking you, and you can't really discipline the way you want to, because if you do, she's going to go back with mom. Your power is limited. You are not He-Man.
Yes.
You do not have the power. You're Orko.
I gotta tell you, man, this is like a new thing, and I'm trying to nip it in the bud. I've noticed this the last like 2 or 3 times that we were like going at it, and I'm telling her, like, yeah, I know that's what you think, but let me tell you what Dad thinks, okay? Dad has a little bit more experience here. And then she's thinking and mocking. Dad has a lot more experience here, but not saying it. She's just mouthing it. And God, I got to tell you, it's like you as a parent want to nip these things in the bud, but there's no blueprint and there's no right answer.
But I want the
Crazy.
The biggest point you need to make clear
Yeah.
is that, my goodness, you are not able to parent the way you want to parent. But that answers
obviously.
everyone's feedback of like, do this, do that,
But
do
you know,
this.
I got to tell you, some
That's why
major
you need-
disconnect like with my parents.
You need a parenting
My
consultant.
dad, I'll tell my parents certain struggles or
We get in
issues I
there.
have with that, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll tell you what I would have did." I'm like, "Yeah, but guys, everything you're saying is great advice. Oh, do this, do that. That's all great advice, but it's very tough to do that when like they go home and they don't, to another home.
She's
and,
pushing the envelope and you can't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Then other people are saying things like, yeah, the game stopped when the belt comes out. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of a teenager.
That's where the crack of the belt becomes your
Dude,
Pavlovian
please,
response.
what
you
is
really,
this? Not-
hold
this
on,
is
you
not-
really think you're
this
gonna
is
be? You
not
think you're really
19
gonna whip
a kid
with a belt? No, but especially like a preteen kid.
You're gonna go to jail.
Yeah,
No, you do.
Not gonna happen.
If you don't feel comfortable popping them in the mouth, and I'm not saying you're like,
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
you're just doing a little sting
Bro.
on the lips. Then you know what you do. You start pinching.
Dad
you do a little
had-
pinch on the arm.
At this age,
a little
not gonna
pinch
happen.
on the
You're
arm.
not gonna do
So they're
anything.
like,
You're not gonna do
It's
anything.
fool's
Spot.
talk, Spot.
Yeah,
It
it's
really
all
is.
You're
It's
speaking
all fun in
fool's talk.
theory, but in
pinch my
reality,
It's like the guy that goes, yeah, well,
I pinch my wife.
fuck her. Like, it's like when you break up with someone and your dumb buddy's like, yeah, well, fuck her. Time to move on. It's like, yeah, like yeah, but I dated her for years. And the guy's like, yeah, fuck her. Let's go out. And you're like, fuck her. Let's go out. Like, I dated this girl for years and I love her.
That's another one. Yeah, I don't know how you put up with that shit. I don't know, because I love this person. Yeah, well, I would fucking do. My dad would be like, yeah, I would just fucking leave it. I don't know. Leave it? I love this person. You're forgetting the point about I love this. You know what I mean? Like, people detach their feelings from your realities.
Well, because people don't realize the scenarios, and I think that I'm just bringing this up because all the feedback
It's so funny.
works if you're married and you're a united front. If all of a
If
sudden,
not, I'm the bad. You know
Not-
how
yeah,
it turns
not-
into?
you know,
I'm the difficult
no,
bad
I'm
guy,
not,
and no
you
one
know.
wants to like me.
not to bring it up, but it needs to be brought up.
Yeah.
If Melody was misbehaving or doing something that annoyed you, and you and Layla were together, and you're like, yo,
United front.
if she mocks me again, I'm fucking taking away her tablet. You take away her tablet,
and she has
it
nowhere
ends.
else to go.
And then
Right.
nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
You say that. I hate you, Dad. I'm going to go back with Mom. Your ex-wife starts saying, what are you doing? She starts questioning your decisions. Everyone's against Covino, and Covino's just trying, as you always know, what is Covino? I'm just trying
And
to
that-
fucking mind my own. I'm
And
just
the
trying
ex,
to...
the ex already thinks you're a difficult person.
And what does Covino say?
right?
Covino
So-
just wants everyone to get along. And you know what? In
that
Covino's
funny?
world of co-parenting and parenting, like they're not even the same book. They're not even in the same category at the library. Like this is if you have an issue with your kid and you're not with their mom, you can't. Are you mimicking me?
I don't know. I'm just.
I'm gonna.
I don't even know if I'm-
nothing. I'm gonna do nothing.
Yo, but
I'm gonna
here's
be-
the thing, man. But I do something always, and that's what makes it. Like, I'm hoping that my efforts do win in the long run by trying to provide a balance, because you see tendencies and you try to nip them where they start. This just started, so I'm like, yeah, not feeling that.
Broken homes are a bitch. You ain't kidding. You see
Funny.
it firsthand. Let's see.
It's just like so wild.
No, I don't think this is meant to be rude, but let me read it anyway.
No, I see it. She doesn't.
She doesn't respect you, and she knows. And no, she's
No,
and
well,
she
it's-
knows
it's-
she's in control.
it's
Hold
hard to
on.
be a parent.
She doesn't respect you and knows that she's in control because she could just choose to stay with her mom, and
Yeah.
she'll never really believe in your rules because if you
I
said
think that's an extreme statement.
No, it's
think
pretty- my parents
she
are- my parents are divorced.
respects you, but she's testing your limits. She's testing you.
Yeah,
mean,
and
not-
I let her know,
not-
like I
not-
said, and it
well-
causes more hassle. Like, yo, and it just makes me look like more of an asshole. But I'm like, I'm not dealing with that shit. Like, fuck that.
what was
that needs to
what
stop.
was our previous conversation? Experts.
Experts?
Well, my parents are divorced.
Yeah.
You guys, your parents were happily married, Spot, until your father passed away. Covino's parents have been together 40-something years. I can actually speak on this, right? I have divorced parents.
Yeah.
So does my wife, and we've had these conversations where Sarah would talk about her relationship with her dad and how her dad would always just try so hard, and you could tell how hard he was trying. And I remember, like, you know, if
sad.
dad, and by the way,
really is sad.
dad would be like, I'm gonna go pick up Lori and Jimmy Saturday. Now, if like dad did something to make Lori or Jimmy like aggravated, they could just be like, well, I'm not coming to see you this weekend. And it's like,
and how do you think that made your dad feel?
no, but
Like it's the weakest.
But the dad is, it sounds terrible, but dads in divorced situations are sort of neutered when it comes to discipline, because if you discipline the kid, you get grief from your ex, your kids don't want to be around you, and good luck saying, well, you and your ex should be on the same page. Ha ha.
By the
ha,
way,
ha ha.
A second facet to this, imagine what a chump you look like.
Like a chump.
A powerless chump you look like in front of your new wife or girlfriend.
Like a chump.
While this is happening.
Like a chump.
Oh, my God.
Like
Well,
a chump.
I just want to point
Like
out
a
also.
chump.
Am I feeling bad? Am I feeling good? It's kind of sad. I'm the laughing stock of the neighborhood.
And not only do the parents need to be on the same united front.
Is that Fred Durst or was that Aziz Ansari?
It's Fred Durst.
Oh.
Chocolate starfish.
Keep in mind also, when it comes to parenting and discipline and
Rich
all
is
this
right.
type of stuff out here, especially out here in LA, when Covino's ex-wife, there could not be a more like liberal do-gooder, do-goody type
And
of
I'm
person
old
on
school a
earth,
little
and
bit.
Covino's a little old school. So
Right.
it's like,
The irony.
I don't even, I can't even sum it up any other way than she went to like Kamala Harris fundraisers, and you're like, get the fuck out. But I'm just saying, like, you and her couldn't be cut from a more different cloth, you and your ex-wife. So I know that you have the right ideas to discipline.
But
you
who's
just can't
conflicted,
execute.
really?
You just can't execute
But
it.
in
Covino's cut from that
reality,
cloth that
who's
they use for-
conflicted in that scenario?
Jumpsuits on The Sopranos.
My kid.
He's
You
cut
know?
from that
You're
cloth.
cut from velour.
He's cut from the poly walnuts cloth.
I'm just trying to
You're cut
provide.
from
I'm just trying to provide a
velour
balance.
pants.
My job I look at it as let me provide balance. Let me provide balance.
You're cut
Let me
from-
provide balance, because if I don't provide balance, then she's going to be just like someone that I don't think is that likable.
You're cut from
so
Tony. You're cut
it's-
from Tony's tank top.
And I'm doing my
His
due
robe that he
diligence,
would walk to get the paper in.
and I'm doing my best to be, lead by example and provide balance. And like I said, everybody has good qualities and bad qualities. You just want your kid to take on as many of the good qualities from both parties as possible. When you see the bad qualities as a parent, you're like, fuck, I got to nip it in the bud. That's what this is about. And it's a really weird, like, I got to tell you, it's a weird thing to see. Like, I'm smiling, and it really is like it's a real smile, but it's like, it's a awkward place to be.
I'm laughing because you asked if it was Fred Durst or Aziz Ansari. Jimmy goes, this is Aziz Ansari. How am I supposed to parent when it's so cold?
How am I supposed to parent when it's so cold?
You're cut from a different cloth. It's true.
Yeah, it's called
You-
Lululemon.
You're cut from the gabagool cloth. You're
Tony Murillo. Tony Morello knows what I'm talking about.
The child could, and I've said this to Covino.
Rich, I try not to reward that behavior to tie it all together.
I've said this to you.
But I want ice cream sometimes.
I've said this to you earlier in your divorce happenings. I've said the reverse could happen too, because as your daughter becomes a preteen and a teenager, you're second fiddle now as far as the discipline and all this. But what if there comes a point where like they butt heads, right? Butt heads.
I like talking about you.
There could come a point. I've said this to you before, and I will promise you, I can almost. Do we still call the George Foreman guarantee the highest guarantee?
Fuck yes.
I guarantee it. I could George Foreman guarantee that at some point between the ages of, what is she now, going to be 12 in November?
Yeah, but today's 12-year-old might as well be 14,
All
15.
right, so Melody's 11. I could promise you between now and 5 years from now, when she's 16, going to be 17, I could promise you there'll be a, Dad, I want to come to live with you stage because I hate Mom. Because if you think that a mom that is opinionated like your ex-wife and your daughter who has that same personality, if you don't think there's going to be battles that end up with, well, fine, then I'm going to go with Dad. I said, make sure her room is always ready, because you be a crazy
Her
person.
room's ready. Her room's ready. But you know what? I got to tell you, want to know something crazier?
You'd be crazy to think that.
Instead of instead of going wider, as our consultant would say, let's go deeper.
Ooh.
Instead of wider conversation, let's go deeper for a minute.
Sit down. Tell me about your life.
Walter Sabo taught me this.
Yeah.
You know what I really bug out on when she's mimicking,
He
mocking me?
also told you you're never wrong.
Yeah. Thanks, Walter Sabo, for ruining all my relationships, for condoning this negative behavior. I often wonder, when I see these things as a parent, is it nature or nurture? And I think it's in the DNA, bro. I think it's more in the DNA than it is learned behavior.
DNA.
I really do. I know it's probably the right answer. It's probably it's a mixture of both.
Oh,
right?
nature and nurture together.
Right. I shit you not. There's certain things I'm like, that's just in the blood. That's wild. Like it is crazy to see. I'm like,
It's always
yo,
in the blood.
she's just like her mom with that shit.
My friend Christina.
wild.
My friend Christina said that over the weekend.
I think
she saw me wrangling Ben, and I'm like, yo, this kid. She's like, he's like he won't stop, can't stop. He just run around with a smile on his face.
Did he learn that because
She's like-
Rich is pacing around with his phone, talking to him? No, not
little-
yet. He's
little
only
boys
fucking
are
2.
terrorists.
Yeah.
No, but it's like it's in the blood.
Yo,
He's bound
boys
to be
are
like a little
terrorists.
Rich.
Ben, don't stop. He is.
Can't stop.
As I always say with Ben, we childproofed our house for Emmy. It was a waste of time. She never tried to get into anything. She was like calm and like all this wasted time and little like fucking magnets for drawers and this and Ben.
Locks.
Ben
Ben has a lock kit.
Yeah, Ben is out of the kid would hang from chandeliers. Like I'm like,
He's picking locks.
you're like, you turn your head for 1 second, Ben is standing on the kitchen table, and you're like, how the fuck did you get up there? So
It's on the roof.
yeah, dude,
He got into Dad's booze cabinet.
Oh man, you're cut
So
over the
Anyway,
It's fart on the wall.
It's really fucking interesting conversation. I don't mind sharing this. As a radio host and parent, I just want you to know that I'm not trying to badmouth anybody, especially my own kid. I love my kid. But, as a parent, you try to snip these things before they start. Or before they continue. And I'm on that shit. So I'm not really worried about no, deep down, I'm very worried about it. But I know that I'm in control of making a difference and providing a balance. And I'm sure, to be fair, on the flip side, if her mom sees some shit that she didn't like about me, I'm not perfect. I'm sure the same balance is also being pushed. In fact, I'm probably certain of that. And you're just hoping that the kid takes the good qualities and runs with it. And, that's why it's a never-ending job as a parent. But, man, it's fucking wild. So I'm happy to share that with you, but don't get the wrong idea. I'm not trying to badmouth anyone or disparage anybody. Like I said, especially Melody. She's...
Of course, she's a kid.
Yeah.
She's a kid, and you can't.
But it's crazy to see.
Even when a kid's even when a kid's misbehaved, or even when a kid. And by the way, Sarah brought that up yesterday. She goes, "What does misbehaved even mean? Does that just mean they're not listening to you?" Like,
I had that debate. This is funny because Sarah
Sarah-
pulled.
yeah.
This happened to me one time when I started reprimanding Melody in public. This is like when she was little, like Emmy's age.
Yeah.
And I started reprimanding Melody. And old Mother Hubbard came out of the woodworks.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, she's not misbehaving. She's being a kid. And I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, no. And
Who
that-
asked you, Mrs. Grundy?
No,
But
she's
thanks.
right. She's right though. Sarah said that to me because I said,
I know.
I said,
she was right. That's why I was like, whatever. I'm just trying to do my job.
because I said I didn't say misbehaving. I said, Emmy, you were behaving well, or such good like she's well No, I said, Sarah, I'm really so happy that Emmy's so well behaved. And Sarah's like, what does that mean? Does that just mean she listens? Like she's like obedient? Like is that really like a great? Like what are you rewarding? The fact that your kid's not?
I often hear. Here's what I get.
I agree with
get
that, though.
You expect her to be a robot? Like no, but I expect her to behave.
Yeah,
like
what
there's
does
a balance
What
there,
does
man.
behaved really mean? Like
There's a balance though,
Yeah.
bro. And it goes back to what do you expect, Rich? You think she's a robot? She's gonna have feelings and emotions. She's
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah, and Sarah
No.
always says when I'm like Emmy will cry about something that I find insignificant, but Sarah will point out like, well, to a 4-year-old, that is significant to them. Like, hey, where's my doll? Oh, Emmy, it's in the bag that's underneath the plane. It's in our bag that's, we checked. So I can't get my dolly during the plane? I'm like, no. And I start to see her like well up. I'm like, yeah, baby, but this is not something to cry about. And Sarah's like, well, to her, that could be something that's upsetting. And I'm like, I guess when you're 4, That is what upsets you. So, hey.
Thanks for all the feedback.
There you
Should
go.
be interesting. In the rando news, I'll never get to the Kanye Soulja Boy beef. Maybe I'll get to it tomorrow.
What about Kanye and Kim not being done?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a marketing ploy. Who knows?
No, it seems like they're giving it a shot again.
But I don't know.
Good for them.
Cam Newton, we talked about. Trent Dilfer's in the news for over disciplining his high school football team. I don't know if you saw that. That's a debate. Like, what's too far? Like, Spot says pop him in the mouth. Trent Dilfer, as a coach now, is manhandling his fucking players. And parents are like, yo. Actually, I don't even know if it's the actual parents, but the public is like, yo, that's not cool. So anyway, we're running out of time.
Austin says, when you're 4, you don't pay taxes. You don't have bills. You don't do things. So when you're 4, what's important to you? Your doll.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for hearing us out.
By the way, you know what I've noticed? You know how
stop.
You know how you always talk about how when you had younger siblings, you would throw up
I
and
still
stuff?
do, actually.
You know how when your parents had kids, you threw up in class?
Takes some more time.
And you didn't know why because you're like, oh, and you realize your kids are doing things consciously and subconsciously.
Yeah.
Whatever I say,
Yeah, a lot of times I think kids don't know why they're doing
it, but
things.
they're doing
we as adults don't know
like
that.
you don't. Yeah, you as an adult might be like, why am I acting this way? If you can't figure it out at 40,
right?
You don't know when you're 7.
Of
right?
course.
Whatever you can play this little experiment next time you see the kids. If you say something really complimentary about Ben, Emmy will do the same thing because she feels like she's not getting the compliment. Like if Ben,
of course, yeah.
like if Ben's laughing at there's a little nursery rhyme thing that. You know how you remember those little things that you cue up and the kid always laughs at some part? Mm-hmm. Some little bear fishing video. Ben would just starts cracking up. And everyone's like, oh, look at Ben laughing. Look at Ben laughing.
Why? Because he's a bear.
And then all of a sudden Emmy's like, ha 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 ha. I'm like, she just starts laughing because she sees Ben getting praise. So man, parenting is wild. And from what I see from you, it only gets trickier.
A lot of time there's a second child. The first child will also will regress. Because they see the baby getting the attention, so they'll act like a baby.
Of course.
So this is just another form of that.
Yeah.
She's just mimicking to get that. I mean, you know that it's obvious, and you said it, but she's mimicking to get the same attention.
Nice. So is today our last day here, Spot, or are we going? Are we going tomorrow? What are we thinking?
For the sake of my penis and my relationship and my apartment and my table, yes, I hope so.
All righty. So tomorrow,
I think, yeah, because they're coming over today. Rich, by the way, they're coming over today.
What time?
I don't know, 1:00 to finish.
Okay.
If you're not there, I'll go.
Oh no, I'm there. I have to. Okay, that's cool. I can figure it out.
I just have to finish.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I'm excited.
It won't take long.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And then hopefully I can go over later tonight and wire up just enough to get us on the air.
All right, cool. That'll be fun.
I have to teach tonight.
That'll be fun.
But why not? Why the fuck not? Let's just do it. Let's do it.
Tomorrow.
I have an answer.
Yes.
If you want to hear it.
Yeah.
I know we got to just make it happen. But
Yes.
I also wanted the reveal to be like, hey, man, like it's actually done.
I just don't want to keep. I just don't want to keep pushing it back.
Yeah,
because
then I would have never moved into my new house if I had that mentality.
Right. Knowing you, Steve, you're never going to be happy. You'll be like, oh, I want this, and oh, we need this, and oh, let's put this up, and oh, this needs to be hung, and oh, blah.
It's never going to be perfect.
Let's just accept that we're the 3 hung people in that room, and nothing else needs to be hung on the wall, and
it'll be good. It'll be good.
Let's
Let's
do
do it
it
tomorrow.
People will see it. It'll be awesome.
I'm
so take
excited,
a look.
man.
Take a look. Say farewell to Spot's Place.
Thanks, Spot's Place. Thanks, Spot's Apartment.
There you go.
Thank you, guys. And thanks for being part of this journey. This is good. We're going to look back at this chapter as, remember when we did the fucking show from Spot's living room for 6 months?
Misery.
Get the fuck out!
Yeah. I mean,
Get out of my apartment!
how long has it been?
Misery.
Honestly, how long has it been?
Misery.
Maybe
Maybe I'll like you guys.
I
again.
saw a meme that like fucking blew my mind. You realize like 2022 is 4 months away? And we're like, we're still trying to figure out what happened in 2020.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
We're trying to figure out what happened in 2020. 2022 is 4 months away. What the fuck? How did that happen?
Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Chuck, what the fuck? We'll see you guys tomorrow. Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Goodbye.
Bye, Spot's Place. Bye, guys. Thanks for being part of this chapter. Thanks, guys. Later. See you in the new studio.